We're at Spillane Field for one final time in the regular season. Today, the Gatemen host the Commodores for the home finale. Alongside Cory Miller, I'm Josh Richardson here on the Gatemen pregame show. Cory, obviously you want to win your first home game of the season, the last home game of the season. Well, the Gatemen lost on opening day 7-2 to Hyannis, so another chance to try and get that one to end it off.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that this is our last regular season home game for the team here, at least in that regular season, but a chance with the win, because these games still mean something, obviously. And Wareham has talked about, even though they're fighting with Bourne for that top spot in the division, for maybe at the very least to clinch a top 2 seed. Well, you beat Falmouth here today, you get that second seed, and you get that home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs coming up this coming week. So a bit of a sentimental, emotional day, but still some riding on this game. So the Gatemen trying to come out with the win over Falmouth tonight.
Yeah, a Gatemen win would clinch a top 2 seed. A Gatemen win and a Bourne loss would give Wareham the number 1 seed, at least for another day. So certainly a lot to think about moving into tonight's contest, Cory.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we talked about it yesterday. How much do the Gatemen want that 1 seed especially? They're now behind Bourne even in terms of points, but the Braves have that tiebreaker due to the head-to-head positive record against Wareham. But this is a situation where, listen, Bourne's at Katuitt last night where the Gatemen had some difficulties closing out the Cavaliers, dropping that one. You never know what could happen. You beat Falmouth tonight, the worst team in the league. Things don't go the Braves' way, and then all of a sudden you're 1 win away from winning that division.
Even in the 3-2 loss to Katuitt yesterday, the Gatemen had a couple pitchers that were pretty crucial down the stretch. Some other guys that are going to be pretty important for the end of this regular season and for the playoff run. One of those guys, Daniel Powell. He's with our Rayna Maggelet.
I'm Rayna Maggelet. I'm joined alongside Wareham Gatemen right-handed pitcher Daniel Powell. Daniel, you came in last night as reliever. You put up 4 innings, allowed only 1 hit and 4 strikeouts. What out of your pitch mix was the most effective?
Probably my fastball or changeup. Those were really the main 2 I was working with, and they were in the zone, so I just tried to keep working with those.
How did you and catcher Drew Rogers really work together to strategize for the best outcome?
We just like to use the same stuff we've been doing, go heaters up and changeups low. He also helped me out throwing someone out, so that was very nice.
Yeah, there you go. And your last 3 outings have been really successful, especially as of lately. How has that built your confidence up on the mound as we're making that playoff push?
It's been good. I've been moved to the bullpen, which is kind of what I'm more comfortable with, and it's been a lot more fun pitching good, so happy to go into the playoffs pitching well.
Yeah. And how are you feeling going back to Kennesaw State in the fall? Are you excited, pumped up for another season?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to Kennesaw. It's going to be a great season. So.
Well, good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is North America's largest cranberry grower and recognized leader in environmentally responsible real estate development and land stewardship. For 171 years, AD Makepeace Company has supported community events and organizations like your Wareham Gatemen. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For a good piece of glass, call Abby, located at 3 Tyler Ave in East Wareham. Call Abby Glass and Locks about getting a free quote for your windows, doors, locks, and other glass needs.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning. Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job.
It's the home regular season finale for the Wareham Gatemen. Wareham comes in 19-19 on the season, still trying to clinch a top 2 seed in the West Division, and they'll have to do it against Falmouth. The Commodores fighting for their playoff lives right here on Cape League TV. Welcome to Spillane Field alongside Cory Miller. I'm Josh Richardson. Cory, we should have a really great game on tap for us today, but something that's even better than that is all of the work that this Gatemen team and organization has done as a whole throughout the entire course of this season. General Manager Jay Spinelli receiving the General Manager of the Year award along with the Gatemen organization winning the Commissioner's Cup. Just such an outstanding achievement for this amazing organization in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Two really well-deserved, obviously, recipients. Obviously, Jay Spinelli's put together on the field a tremendous squad that will be making a postseason berth for the second straight season. First time since that 2018-2019 season, obviously. The group he's also helped assemble behind the scenes, the interns, the volunteers, all of those people. That's kind of what that President Cup signifies, is the great work that obviously the team has done itself, but everyone off the field, everyone behind the scenes. So really great to see that all of those people are getting their recognition as well.
Now, the only thing that could possibly make that any better is if the Gatemen can grab the 20th win of the season today, Cory, and certainly going to be a big one at that. Trying to clinch a playoff spot this season, clearly, as seen over these last couple days, is maybe not all sunshine and rainbows like it was at the earlier portion of the week.
Yeah, you know, obviously they're in no matter what, so I think that gives them something to rest on, but I don't think it's something where they want to go in cold. They've lost three straight losses for the Gatemen, and at a certain point, you don't want to let that continue to mount and build, because you just, at that point, don't have any momentum. You start to lose confidence. So even if maybe you don't have as much to play for tonight as Falmouth, who is just fighting, as you said, for their playoff lives, you still, it seems like, talking to Ryan Smythe, talking to these players, they'd ideally like to have one of those top 2 seeds to get, at the very least, home field advantage in the first round. And again, you really want to go into the playoffs, as it's been said time and time again, with momentum.
You mentioned that 3 straight losses, also 5 of the last 7 going back to last Friday, a week ago. So certainly a matchup where the Gatemen are going to try and take advantage of a Commodores team that is struggling. And the man on the mound for Wareham to try and do that is Logan Baisley, the right-hander out of FGCU, somebody that's moved over into a relief perspective for these latter portions of the season, but needing a start from him tonight, the big 5-4.
And a guy who's been really effective in some of those high-leverage relief appearances, 9 games in total, 5 starts. He has 2 saves on the summer, so again, those high-leverage spots have kind of been his bread and butter, but mixed results as a starter. Guy, when he's going to give up runs, it's typically because he's going to be hit. Sometimes that control maybe dips down a little bit, but 10 walks compared with 17 strikeouts on the whole. So a lot of the problem has been if he leaves pitches over the heart of the zone, especially the later he gets into the game, that's where he gets into trouble. 7.11 ERA. So especially as he gets deeper and deeper into the game, make sure the control is good.
Baisley was 3 2/3 with 3 hits and just 1 run allowed in the 2-1 loss to Hyannis last weekend. And now with Baisley on the mound, the Falmouth lineup trying to beat him tonight. Micah New, the designated hitter, leads it off, followed by Carl Schmidt and then Kent Schmidt. Try not to get those 2 guys confused. Bear Harrison catching. Justin Osterhaus hits 5th at second base. Adrian Lopez, Gavin Greger, Antonio Morales, and Chris Newstrom round out the Commodore lineup. Certainly a team that offensively is right up there with some of the best in the league, just looking at batting averages, slugging percentage, OPS, you name it. But then the pitching side of things is where things can get a little bit out of hand, so maybe expect a high-powered offense game today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it starts at the top with Micah New. We've seen him in a few different spots in the order deployed by Jared Saltalamacchia this summer. He's hit third, now up to first, really hoping he can spark the lineup behind him. But as you said, it's a pretty prolific offense. That really hasn't been the issue throughout the whole of the summer. It's been pretty consistent, but a chance for the Gatemen. You shut the Commodores out last time you saw them, so can you try and do that again? Get a good start from Baisley.
That was a 3-0 Gatemen win at Gov Fuller Field just a week ago to the day. Just a complete outing on the mound for Wareham. Josh Butler, 6 innings of shutout ball, just 1 hit allowed. Mike Anu batted third in that one. He leads off today. 288 average on the summer, 897 OPS. Somebody that has been so dangerous for Jared Saltalamacchia's team. A win for the Gatemen, and Falmouth would be eliminated from playoff contention. Here's Baisley's first pitch. It starts with a ball. Just misses. Home plate umpire Sam Finn down the third baseline. Chuck Furlong, Craig Andriazzi down the first baseline. Umpiring crew for tonight's matchup. Ball 2. Three 3-0. Baisley can't locate early.
He can't, and this is the case for a lot of teams, but it's an obvious statement to say that the bulk of the trouble for the Commodores offensively is going to come at the top of this order, but just not making it easy on yourself right now.
4-pitch walk for Mike Anu. When you look at where he ranks among Commodores bats, certainly not the worst thing in the world. He's first in home runs, second in a couple other categories as well. Somebody that this Falmouth offense really runs around. We'll take a look at the Wareham defense trying to stop it. It starts with Foster Apple in left field, Hayden Yost in center, Chase Cruson in right. The infield, Turner, Sheehan, Kale, and McDonald. Matt Chavez behind the plate.
Definitely is a lot of new faces in for Ryan Smythe. In terms of position players here tonight, they've added a bunch of guys the past couple days and trying to give some of these starters days off heading into the playoffs.
A one to Carl Schmidt in the air to left field. Apple's back. One away. That was a hit and run for Falmouth there, and New had to retreat back to first.
And a chance for the Commodores to be aggressive tonight, and we'll see how often we see runners in motion. It'll be interesting to see what the approach is, because as we talked about, really on the outside looking in, on the brink of elimination, second to last game of the regular season, just trying to stay alive off of a 14-4 loss last night. Interesting to see if they're pressing at all or how aggressive they may turn out to be.
First pitch to Ken Schmidt, finds the corner. Yeah, interesting kind of the duality of losses. Falmouth gets mercy ruled 14-4 against Bourne in 8 innings. Gatemen lose on a walk-off at Cotuit at 3-2. So two teams trying to get back in the win column, but both having defeats in very different ways last night.
They are, and for Falmouth, again, maybe you have a little bit more to play for, because the Gatemen have kind of embraced that mentality of anything can happen once you're in. So still trying to play for that 1 or 2 seed, but not quite as much is at stake for Wareham.
Check over to first, not in time. Yeah, a lot of new faces in this Gatemen lineup. Foster Apple only has a few games under his belt. Jack Hale in that same boat. William Parker with just 2 at-bats in the loss against Brewster. And Matt Chavez making his season debut. 1-1, runner goes. Throw down to second is offline. Stolen base for Mike Anu. That's his 15th of the summer.
And at the same time, when you're facing, as an opposing team, a catcher that is appearing in his first game this summer with the team, you might want to test him early to see how accurate he's going to be. He's obviously learning a new pitcher and all the tendencies on the mound. Obviously, Chavez's plays over the summer, but obviously not with the Gatemen.
1-2 to Schmidt. Misses on the corner, 2-2. One of the other changes, Corey, And this goes on the defensive side of things. Caden McDonald getting the start at first. Somewhere that the Gatemen have only put him in one other game this summer. It was against YD. That was back at the beginning of the season. That gets away. And New over to third.
Command right now from Logan Baisley, just not sharp, not consistent around the plate. A situation with McDonald playing first. He's DH so much this summer in part because as a two-way player, just trying to give his arm as much of a rest as possible and his whole body too. This one just getting away from Baisley. Skipping in there, tough for Chavez to smother it enough. We did also see Chris McHugh exit the game yesterday with a shoulder injury. Saw him taking batting practice. Looked pretty good, but just getting the night off, it seems.
Payoff from Baisley. Misses downstairs. 2 walks in the first for Baisley, and Falmouth has runners on the corners.
Just kind of seeing him nibbling around the zone right now. He's gotten to a couple strikes, but just pitches that are too easy to take as a hitter at the plate. I think if you're Baisley, sure, Falmouth has got a really solid lineup, especially at the top, but the last thing you want after some of the command issues the Gatemen bullpen had last night is more trouble locating to start the game.
Harrison fouls it off. Rather a ball that dumped out of the glove of Chavez. This is away.
Early on, it's just been the breaking ball location, especially there for Baisley, that he hasn't been able to get a lot of location consistently out of, and then that sets him up in a tough spot if he only can throw that fastball.
1-1 misses inside, and that command is just not there right now, Cory.
It sure isn't. And again, it's not the easiest thing for a pitcher. When you've been here really the duration of the summer and second to last game of the season, you get a new receiving partner in Matt Chavez, just trying to learn and adjust his pitches on the fly, but really just got to find it here.
Soft chopper over to second. Kale to the bag, on to first in time. Way to get out of it, Logan Baisley. 4-6-3 with a little help from his defense. And the Gatemen escaped the top of the first, still scoreless, with Wareham coming up to bat on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Shameless Plug Electric, hitting home runs on every job. Wareham's top choice for electrical work. Call Shameless Plug Electric.
Logan Baisley, a little help from his defense to get out of the first. Runners on the corners for Falmouth. 4-6-3 double play turned on Bear Harrison. We head into the home half, still tied 0-0. Jake Dorn on the mound for the Commodores, trying to keep it that way.
A small sample size for Jake Dorn this summer, just one game. He went 4 innings out of the bullpen, but the ERA's been perfect. No earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and that follows up a really great campaign at Miami. He appeared in 11 games, all out of the bullpen, 13 2/3 innings pitch, a 1.98 ERA, a guy who's been pitching in the Valley League so far this summer, 4 games, 3 starts, a 2.45 ERA. So whether it's been Miami, whether it's been the Valley League or his first appearance here, he's been really sharp. Now, obviously, adjusting up here to a starting pitcher. We'll see how he does tonight.
You mentioned that first appearance, Cory, came a week ago today when these two teams met at Falmouth. 4 innings, the 3 Ks, kept that game from getting any more out of hand and finished out those final few games. The lineup for the Gatemen tonight, it starts off with Jack Cale, the left-handed hitting second baseman. First time in the leadoff spot for him. Colby Turner, Caden McDonald also due up here in the first. Cruz and Apple and Yost, the middle of the order, with Parker, Chavez, and Sheehan rounding it out.
And we talked about it when we were going over the defensive alignment for the Gatemen, but certainly a lot of new faces. Seemingly almost all the players the Gatemen have added the past few nights are into this lineup, and really just a function at this point. You have guys who have been long haulers over the course of the summer who need some rest before the playoffs.
A 1 breaking ball, make it a ball and a strike. Cale, one of those guys to come in late in the season out of Columbia. Made his Gateman debut a week ago tomorrow. It was a loss to Hyannis, 2-1. Strike 2. Cale's 3 for 17 with an RBI this summer. That run batted in came yesterday in the 3-2 loss to Katuitt. Gave the Gatemen a 2-0 lead in the 7th. 1-2 fouled back.
Playing here tonight for Braden Randall, who has needed some time off with the amount he's played this summer, but an easy choice in Cale, I think, to just plug at the top of the order. A contact first guy. You mentioned what he did last night, just a line drive base hit. Saw the defense, too. How about that play to end the top of the first? Spinning around, turning the double play.
1-2. Soft hit into center field. Gavin Greger backs up and he makes the catch. Defensive alignment for the Commodores. Greger in center with Chris Newstrom and Antonio Morales to his left and right. In the infield, Carl Schmidt, Adrian Lopez, Justin Osterhaus, and Kent Schmidt with Bear Harrison behind the plate. Mike Anu, the day off, the typical center fielder for this Falmouth squad. But he gets to focus solely on hitting tonight. It'll be interesting, Cory, because the last 2 times that Falmouth and Wareham has played, one of the 2 teams has made a boatload of errors. A couple weeks ago, it was the Gatemen back on July 5th. 7 errors. And the Commodores had their own handful a week ago today.
And a team that the Gatemen, despite that one game where they made those 7 errors, have played very well against Falmouth throughout the duration of the summer, having taken the season series.
Ball and a strike on Colby Turner. He's hitting .238 this summer. Yeah, Gatemen have officially won the season series, so this one's just for pride. The only Wareham loss to Falmouth was 11-4. That game, the Gatemen committed 7 errors. Swing and a miss.
There's never any easy games up here, but I think if you're Ryan Smythe and the Gatemen, a chance with a team you've dominated so far this summer for the most part, that got blown out yesterday, that's last in the division, gives you that better opportunity to rest a lot of your usual starters.
Soft tapper. Back to Dorn on the mound. 2 away.
But at the same time, what a luxury it is for Jared Saltalamakia to have Jake Dorn, who dominated this lineup the last time these 2 teams faced off over those 4 innings, as you mentioned. So in one aspect, the Gatemen have seen some of his stuff before, but it's a lot of new hitters in this lineup compared to the last time they met, and still he's looked sharp early on.
Yeah, just 4 base runners in 4 innings that Dorn allowed. So certainly a lineup that looking for a chance at redemption against the lefty. Well, 1 to McDonald. Takes it upstairs. Rocketed into left center. Newstrom back. He settles and he makes the catch. McDonald gave it a ride but died in left center. Chris Newstrom makes the third out, and Wareham goes down in order to end the first. We're still scoreless heading into the second. Getting a good personal injury attorney is very difficult. If you or a family member has been involved in an accident, hurt at work, suffered a slip and fall, or have been injured due to negligence of someone else, contact the lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. They are experienced trial attorneys who practice in all of the courts in the Commonwealth. The firm has been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for outstanding legal representation. Contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham. Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP also has offices in New Bedford and Falmouth. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website, www.rkm-law.com. Jake Dorn makes easy work of the Gatemen in the first, and the Commodores come up in the second to try and get the first runs on the board. There's a look at Jay Spillane, the John Wild General Manager of the Year across the Cape Cod Baseball League. Congratulations to Jay. Of course, the rest of the Gatemen organization for winning the Commissioner's Cup as well. Just a prestigious chance to showcase what a great year it has been for Wareham.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride here tonight, having been the recipients of that award, because as we talked about earlier, Jay's such a deserving candidate for GM of the Year, and then the President's Cup. That's a recognition of everyone throughout the organization, up and down their hard work.
Strike one on Justin Osterhaus. Comes in hitting .256, 638 OPS. Baisley got out of a little trouble back in the first. Walked the leadoff man. Mike Anu then stole second. Liner over to short, caught in the air. Van Cheyenne went away.
And his issue was in that first inning, just the lack of command, especially consistently. Was able to locate a pitch to Bear Harrison, and then a nice turn on that double play by especially Kale and then Cheyenne on the back end. But a much better start to locate early to get Osterhaus.
Falmouth had those runners on the corners. Harrison 4.63. Middle infield looks sharp. Back in the first. Nice play from Van Cheyenne, who's been out of the lineup over the last few games. Getting some time off. His defense has always been certainly a plus for this Gatemen team, but offensively slowing down as of late. It's good to see him continuing his confidence at shortstop. 0-1 to Adrian Lopez. Misses in the dirt.
And especially since Ryan Smythe said just a couple days ago that down the stretch, Vance is going to be a really big player for us. And it's just a shame that the bats cooled off a little bit after he picked it up. But he's just been such a consistent force defensively, and so a chance these last two games to maybe get going again and show that he deserves a starting spot in the playoffs.
Foul back. Cheyenne's kind of rotated around. He started the season playing short. And then Chris Ramirez came in, just a prolific shortstop from Cal Poly. Makes all the defensive plays you might ever need. He has the day off today. And Cheyenne obviously needing to keep that glove in the field. Put him over at the hot corner. Struck him out looking on the outside corner with a slider. Nice pitch from Baisley. 2 away.
You said it, a really nice pitch. That slider's got a lot of horizontal movement on it. He had trouble locating it in the first inning, but that time a great job. You see it moving. This one on the double play to get out of that first inning. That last pitch moving across the plate. A lot of horizontal movement east to west. Just freezes Lopez on the outside corner.
Here's Gavin Greger. First pitch, soft flare over to short, bobbled by Cheyenne, no play. Greger reaches. It's a tough break for the Gatemen. 2-out single.
Shane just took kind of the wrong route to that ball. Obviously, it's the right thing to get behind it first to make sure you're able to get to it without it getting over your head, but he just started too far back, misjudged it, and by the time he started to come in, it was too far in front of him for him to be able to hang on and make the catch.
It brings up Antonio Morales, the right fielder. 234 on the summer for the lefty. Baisley's 1-0. Swing and a miss.
And that is a shame because Baisley really had a nice bounce-back inning so far. Kind of the weak line out to Cheyenne. Strikeout of Lopez. Was basically out of the inning and then has to keep throwing here in the second.
Runner goes, fouled off. That's pitch 26 for Baisley, so that pitch count relatively staying right around where he would like it. The issue, just 13 strikes.
Yeah, especially back in that first inning. He's been more consistent here in the second, and I think moving forward he's going to see a fair amount of Falmouth base runners. Commodores lead the league with 80 steals this summer, 80 and 97 attempts, so that's
a pretty good track record.
Yep.
1-2, runner stays put downstairs. Now, obviously, if you're Ryan Smythe, Eric Luxus, you want a good outing from Baisley, but if he can get you through 3-4 innings, maybe just one run allowed, that would certainly be a success and set you up in a good position to finish out that second half, second third of the game. Payoff coming up to Morales.
And obviously the Gatemen we've talked about it have been going to the bullpen a lot lately. They've had to with the starts their pitchers have turned in. But I agree. I think if you can take quality over quantity tonight with Baisley, you'll be fine with that trade-off.
3-2, runner goes, just tapped foul.
And it's an unfortunate situation now because all of these pitches after that misplay by Shane are just unnecessary extra pitches that are going to make it ever so more difficult for Baisley to go deeper and deeper into the game.
Just missed outside. 2 on and 2 out here in the second.
2 out base runners. Right now, Chavez did a nice job to crouch down and try and frame that on the outside corner. Just missed barely outside. And now a chance against a guy in Chris Newstrom who's hitting down below 200 to get out of this inning. Ever since Gregor reached the location Wareham throughout that at-bat was not as consistent as Baisley had been to begin the second inning.
Really is a tale of two halves when you look at the top and the bottom portion of this Falmouth lineup. It really starts 6 through 9. Lopez, 192 entering play. Gavin Gregor was 1 of 8 on the season. Morales, 230. Newstrom, 130. Then you look at the top, 288, 286, 281. The productive hitters for Falmouth situated mainly just 1 through 5. A ball and a strike on Newstrom.
And for Baisley, you're going to want to face the guys at the top as little as possible, but the fact that now you're going to be already through at the very least the 9th hitter of the order means they're going to bat for the second time in the top of the 3rd already.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. And if you're Baisley, you just kind of got to fight and make your way through those first couple of guys, and then this is the portion of the lineup where Baisley kind of has to dominate and make sure that he's getting some of those quick outs. Falmouth 2 on and 2 out. First and second for the Commodores. Runners go. Baisley fires. Just misses. Runners just pump fake there. Both of them took off and slowed down.
Just testing the Gatemen, obviously. Maybe trying to get in the head of Baisley and make this at that even more difficult for him. You've seen the swings and misses that he's gotten on some of his pitches. The breaking ball's got great movement, then the fastball in. But if he's not locating, the takes have been easy.
Payoff coming up to Newstrom. On deck is Mike Anu. That's probably the last person in this Falmouth lineup that you would want up with the bases loaded.
Without a doubt. And obviously this inning, in all likelihood, should be over. But Baisley, these past two hitters, once he's gotten to a couple strikes, he just has kind of gone too far out the zone. If they're not chasing, that forces you to come back to the plate just a little bit more.
Here's the payoff. Runners get a head start. Soft chopper over to third. Colby Turner steps on the bag. And an easy play for out number 3. Baisley avoids some more trouble in back-to-back innings. And the Gatemen try and get the first run on the board when we come back.
Law. Live, life, law. Covering all residential and commercial real estate matters. You live life to the fullest and let us Sync Law. That's synklaw.com. Sync with an I, not a Y. Be selfish. We represent only you.
Sports Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen field. Go Gatemen.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Well, the Gatemen are trying to get back in the win column. 3 straight Wareham losses throughout the course of this week, but none possibly more heartbreaking than what happened last night. Scoreless through 6th. Gatemen put up 2 in the top of the 7th. Katuitt responds with 1 in the home half. And then thinking everything's going to be great, everything's great. You get to the home half of the 9th, you get an out on that leadoff guy, and then a walk, single, walk. I mean, things just really started to unravel for Wareham down the stretch of that one. Gatemen lose on a walk-off to Katuitt, a sac fly from the Kettleers. That's 2 walk-offs this season in 3 losses to Katuitt. That's just not how you want a late season stretch against the divisional opponent to go, Cory.
Exactly, because you kind of said it was just such a demoralizing loss. Listen, the night before against Brewster, that was a tough 7-1 loss, but obviously the offense didn't really come to play, but it didn't have that same level of just kind of that demoralizing factor because you weren't down to your final 2 outs, the other team that is, like the Gatemen had the Kettleers.
And it just felt for so long like they're going to come away with this win. This is a huge win against the Kettleer offense that's top 3 in the league, a pitching staff that's right around that mark as well. And you got that first out, and then things just started to unravel later in that 9th. Appeal to third, and Chuck Furlong says Cruson goes around. It'll be 0-2.
Yeah, the Kettleers, statistics-wise, despite the fact that they're under 500, a team that has really been productive, as you said, on both sides of the ball. And again, the Gatemen, the way they played to get those late runs, seemed like they deserved to win.
Breaking ball in the zone, and Cruson down looking. And that's a game, Cory, that doesn't mean a whole lot in the standings-wise. Wareham 3 points above the Kettleers, so unless the Gatemen lose out, Katuitt wins out, nothing will change standings-wise in that aspect. But that's also a team that now you lose the season series 3-2 against, and a potential playoff matchup. Kettleers beat the Gatemen in round 1 of the playoffs last season. So maybe not someone that you necessarily would want to avoid after a couple games like that, but maybe have you a bit shaken up. That's a really good Kettleer team, despite being a few games below 500. 0-2 on Foster Apple.
And it's frustrating because had you won that game, you're in such a good spot the last 2 games of the summer, playing the last place team that has struggled immensely lately. You're still up over Bourne, and then one more win maybe against Hyannis, and that's it.
High pop-up, shallow infield. Osterhaus drifts into the grass, 2 away.
I think that's the frustrating thing no matter what obviously happens in the playoffs. At a certain point doesn't mean a ton, but this regular season division title was more than attainable. And the fact that there's so many teams around 500 obviously indicates that it's tough to go on a prolonged winning streak without a correction on the other side. But at the same time, you were 2 outs away from a win. Bourne's been playing well. You've gotten some help, but they're up again over to it right now, 5-2 in the 7th.
And it's moments like that, Cory, when you kind of think, well, Bourne's a team that's certainly trending in the right direction as it stands. Gatemen lost 3 straight, 5 of the last 7. It'll make things pretty interesting come playoff time. Chopper to second. Osterhaus played a first in time. 3 up, 3 down in the second for Jake Dorn. Heading into the third, we're still scoreless. Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen field. Go Gatemen.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player. You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Logan Baisley's night is done. He exits after just 2 innings. And Baisley got out of a heap of trouble in both of those. 1 hit, 3 walks, and a strikeout for Logan on the night. In comes Shea Went, the righty out of Creighton, who as of late, Cory, struggled a little bit, especially in his last outing against Bourne.
Might sound like a broken record here, but it's really just a control thing for Shea Went. Starting with that fastball because it's an electric fastball. Gets in there quickly in the zone, but 15 walks compared with 12 strikeouts. The problem for him is if he can't locate the fastball, then he's not even going to be able to work the breaking ball off of that pitch when he throws the fastball such a majority of the time. And then when he gets behind, sometimes he's forced to throw one just down the heart of the plate, and that's where he gets in even more trouble. So a chance with no one on base, a clean inning to start. Sure, you have the top of the order up. Tied up at 0 early on. Hopefully a low leverage situation can help him find the zone early.
This will be Went's 12th appearance of the season, first against Falmouth. So maybe some optimism that the Commodore hitters won't see him as well as some other teams have on the second or third times around. But you mentioned that control being an issue, Cory. Over his last 2 2/3 innings, he's walked 4 batters and allowed 2 earned runs, 3 hits. So that'll be the key. Can he keep it in the zone? Now, the issue with keeping it in the zone against this top of the Falmouth lineup is Mike Anu especially. First in home runs, second in slugging, second in OPS for the Commodores this season. First pitch, flied into right field along the line. Cruson giving chase, diving, can't make the play. Foul ball.
Man, he had a long way to go, and he nearly got there just about. That one just kept staying foul ever so slightly, a long run. That would have been huge to make such a great play to retire Mike Anu at the top of this order. But, Josh, to me, this move just kind of signifies that the Gatemen are in postseason mode in terms of how they're approaching both their offense and their pitching staff as well. Because right now, we saw it with Butler. He went just 2 innings last night. They're really trying to not overwork anyone right now and make sure the rotation in the bullpen lineup is such where no one's overworked and has rest heading into the playoffs.
Fly ball over to right field. That's drifting into the alley, but Crusen's there. A lot of action for Chase and Wright. One away. Yeah, and you mentioned that with the pitching, Cory, and I know we were a little bit surprised to see Butler exit after just 2 innings in a pitch count only around 20 to 25 after going 6 shutout innings against Falmouth back the Saturday prior. Then you realize, oh, well, that's going to be your Game 1 starter for the playoffs on Tuesday in the first round. And it's good to keep that arm fresh. Even just pitching a number of guys, 2 innings, 1 inning, to get through games, quote-unquote, bullpen outings, keeps everybody a little bit more fresh. And Ryan Smythe and Eric Luxus, the pitching coach, will sure have a good amount of arms at their disposal Tuesday through Thursday for that first-round series. 2-0 pitch to Carl Schmidt. Wave and a miss.
And they're also in eval mode, too, especially if some of these new guys. I mean, we saw it last night. We were a little bit surprised when Cannon Clayton, who's appeared in just 1 game, is in to close a game against a division rival with runners on base. You're only up by a run. But, you know, at the very least, the Gatemen now get a sense of, okay, maybe we don't bring him in that spot in the playoffs. And so they're learning things and learning how they might want to use a lot of these guys. Shea Went's been in some high leverage spots, so now they're getting a look at him in a lower leverage spot. And it's just a situation where you're trying to see what works well where.
Ground ball to short. Vance across the diamond, 2 away. And that's the thing, Cory, because the Gatemen struggled out the gate to begin the season, hovering right around 500 from mid-June to the end of the month over those first 12, 13 games, mainly because the team just needed to get acclimated to a lot of the faces, kind of learn so much about the crew and the group that Ryan Smythe and Eric Luxus had on their hands. And then you turn the page after those first couple games in July. Well, there's the 7-game win streak. There's 12 of 13 dubs. And everything starts to get figured out. Then you lose a bunch of guys, and these last week or two almost feel like a new season. And obviously, Smythe has talked that the playoffs are a completely new season. But at least you have familiarity with all your guys. Gatemen haven't had that over these last couple weeks.
No, that's for sure. And talking to assistant GM Dan Roche, as we call him, Dan O, here at Spillane Field, he talked about how tomorrow, August 3rd, afternoon, the Gatemen will not be able to add any new additions to this team.
So this is it.
From that point on, these are the guys you're kind of riding with. Some will obviously return to college, return home, but after tomorrow, no new additions.
The 0-1 to Ken Schmidt. This is high.
And you said it. I mean, you look at June and July. June started with a 3-game losing streak to open the season. July, the 5-game losing streak. You just hope that doesn't carry over and play out in August. It would close out the regular season, but still.
3-1.
And we talked about how the Gatemen seemingly all summer have been able to respond. They responded to that initial 3-game losing skid, and then, boy, did they ever respond to the 5-game losing streak in July. But I think it's a lot easier said than done when you're a team losing games to respond.
Question is just going to be who can get hot at the right time. The Gatemen did that throughout the majority of the month of July. Then right before the All-Star break, winning streak snapped against Bourne. Won a couple in a row after the weekend off for the All-Star game. Lost to Katuitt, lost to Hyannis last weekend, and since then just the 1 win over Chatham. Trying to get back in the win column here. Here's Bear Harrison after the 2-out walk to Schmidt. A ball and no strikes.
And I think it is tough because a lot of these guys like Braden Randall, like Chris McHugh, some of these other players who have been here for a long portion of the summer, they are in need of days off because they've just been subject to the tribulations of a long summer season.
And that happens, especially for a lot of guys who are coming off of long collegiate seasons that have played 40, 50, 60 games, that have already kind of gone through the wear and tear of what it takes to play Division I NCAA baseball. Soft tapper over to third. Turner in time. They'll call it a foul ball.
Turner made the right move to come over and cut that off, but none of that's going to matter. Harrison not even running. Brian Smythe not thrilled with that call. Really seemed like the front of that left foot, and did not get a whole big chunk of it, but I guess enough to where it's ruled a foul ball.
2-1 on Harrison. Runner on first. Pop up. Shallow foul territory. McDonald along the line makes the catch along the lining of the Falmouth dugout to retire the side. Commodores stranded 2-out walk heading into the third. It's still scoreless.
Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is North America's largest cranberry grower and recognized leader in environmentally responsible real estate development and land stewardship. For 171 years, AD Makepeace Company has supported community events and organizations like your Wareham Gatemen. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For a good piece of glass, call Abby, located at 3 Tyler Ave in East Wareham. Call Abby Glass and Locks about getting a free quote for your windows, doors, locks, and other glass needs.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Gatemen trying to get that first run across for a big number of fans. Heavy volume here tonight from Spillane Field. Final home game of the regular season to try and get a win from the Wareham faithful.
I think it's really worked out scheduling-wise. The Saturday night, final home game. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Temperatures in the 70s, not too hot, not too cold. Sun is out. Really couldn't ask for much more. Just maybe a win if you're the Gatemen fans.
Has to kind of feel like Goldilocks from this past week, Cory. It was too hot, 95 degrees. Then those last couple about 60, 65 with 25-mile-an-hour winds. Now we finally get that 75 and sunny night here from Spillane Field.
Perfect baseball weather.
William Parker, his first at-bat, starts with a ball. Two of those newer names for the Gatemen in terms of this season. Parker and Matt Chavez on deck. 7-8-9 for Wareham here in the third. But Parker had a little bit of success at the end of last season for Wareham. Came in for the last 10 games, so in a familiar spot for the righty. Hit just over 300. Had 10 plate appearances. The righty out of West Point.
And listening to what Ryan Smith has had to say, Ryan Smythe, that is about some of these new guys, it seems like a lot of their role will be to give some of these traditional starters throughout the season some days off down the stretch. But a chance for guys like Will Parker, Foster Apple, Matt Chavez on deck, I think, to really energize this lineup, because at this point, I think the Gatemen really need that, having lost a bit of that offensive spark, in part because maybe some of their typical starters are reeling from having played so many games.
Fly ball into shallow center. One away.
We were kind of talking about it top half of the inning, but obviously you're kind of in an eval period and still trying to win games, no doubt, but kind of seems like getting everyone set for the postseason is the #1 priority. But problem that can be sometimes if that backfires and you don't win these 2 games or any games down the stretch, It can be tough for a team losing all of that momentum and having lost potentially 5 straight going into the playoffs.
Yeah, that would certainly be worst-case scenario for the Gatemen, especially considering the last 2 games of the regular season. Falmouth dead last in the West, Hyannis in 4th, clinging to that last playoff spot. And not that far ahead of the Commodores either. Just a 2-point difference from the Harbor Hawks to the Doors. Falmouth still fighting for its playoff life. Two and one.
And that would, listen, the Gatemen we talked about have bounced back from a 5-game losing streak, but it really is a tough thing to do when all of a sudden everything really matters in a 3-game win-or-go-home series. Some guys can kind of turn that on and off, but I think it's a lot more difficult as a team when you're taking gut punch after gut punch.
Fly ball, shallow right center field. Osterhaus makes the catch. A Falmouth win and a Hyannis loss would put the Commodores back in the playoff picture. A Wareham win today would eliminate the Commodores. So certainly a lot riding on this game. A win for the Gatemen would clinch them a top 2 seed. The main difference, Cory, we've said it quite a bunch, is going to be the bottom of this lineup. No matter what faces are there, you know that the top half is going to produce at a pretty consistent clip. And obviously some new guys getting some run here tonight. Some changes in the lineup. Sheehan flies one foul. But if a guy like Van Sheehan's bat can get hot like it was during that Gateman winning streak, I don't think that's a coincidence that while he was probably swinging the best of the season, Wareham was winning pretty continuously. 0-2 misses high.
Over the course of that win streak, prolonged winning stretch, it was 1 through 9. No holes in this Gateman order, that's for sure. But lately it's just been a situation where maybe bottom part of the order, it's a potential hole for other teams to exploit. But again, guys like Shea and some other options, if they get going, continues that whole lineup approach.
1-2, fouled off.
And here's his chance here tonight. Team's already clinched a playoff spot. You're hitting 9th. You're not going to get as many at-bats, but
what do you really have to lose at
exactly.
this point?
You're just trying to prove to Ryan Smythe and the coaching staff that you can get hot these coming 2 games, including tonight. You deserve to be in that starter mix.
Swing and a miss. Jake Dorn has faced the minimum through 3 innings. Heading into the 4th, we're still scoreless.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
We're through 3 innings, and we're still scoreless from Spillane Field. Now, while this key matchup in the West Division is going on, what else is happening around Cape Cod? Let's take a quick look at some other scores. Bourne up 5-2 over Cotuit. We talked about that a little bit. Over in the East, Chatham, narrow lead over YD. Anglers eliminated, but the Red Sox still fighting for playoff positioning. Harwich up 4-0 over Brewster, and Orleans and Hyannis still scoreless in the 2nd. Some big-time games over in that East side. Certainly doesn't affect the Gatemen very much. We've ran through what matters for Wareham. But overall in the East, that's 1 through 4 can go any which way over these last 2 days.
They absolutely can, so just all the more motivation for the Gatemen. Katuitt has bases loaded, no one out in the bottom of the 7th, down by 3. Again, for the Gatemen, you're in, and maybe that's just fine for you. But I think given how attainable potentially first place is, why not try and win these last 2 games?
A win for the Gatemen, a loss for Bourne would put Wareham back in first place, at least temporarily. Gatemen, at this point, have to win out. Do not control their own destiny like they did heading into yesterday. 0-1 to Osterhaus, skipped in front of the plate.
And what you don't want is a team that wins the division in the regular season to get complacent or anything. We've seen that before in professional sports, obviously, and it's occurred here. Hyannis won the division last summer, was bounced in the first round of the playoffs, but still, I think it gives you the momentum if you win 2 straight at the very least that you need.
Foul ball. And you have to imagine, Cory, in terms of what the easiest playoff matchup would be for Wareham, I feel like all signs would kind of have to point to Hyannis in that perspective. Lose the season series to Bourne, lost to Katuitt yesterday, with 2 of them coming on walk-offs. And then Hyannis is kind of that wild card team that started the year so strong, but as the season progressed, lost a lot of big names, and the record kind of diminished with them. Harbor Hawks just clinging to that spot. 3-2 coming up to Osterhaus.
That's the thing. Those key names lost. Sure, they beat the Gatemen here at Spillane Field last weekend, but I think given that turnover, given the fact that they have just struggled immensely second half of the season, that's a team that you want to play.
Leadoff walk to begin the 4th. Second of the game for Shea Went.
And especially, I think, the importance of getting a top 2 seed. If you're the Gatemen, I would want no parts of Lowell Park. Yes, you have won a game there once this summer, but you've also been walked off twice, most recently yesterday. The Kettleers just got a run back. It's now 2nd and 3rd. Still no one out in the 7th, so tying run is on at second base in scoring position against Bourne.
Yeah, it's kind of been a house of horrors down at Lowell Park. Even last season, Gatemen losing to the Kettleers in round 1. Check over, gets away from McDonald, drifts down that foul line, and Osterhaus into scoring position. Tough throw from Went, but also an inexperienced McDonald over at first. Could really kind of put that on either of them.
And just a tough break because we went from some command issues at the plate for Went, which have been an issue for him all summer, to now a poor throw over to first. And just like that, runner in scoring position.
First pitch to Adrian Lopez. Scores up a bunt, pulls back in the zone anyway. And that's the thing, Cory, with Caden McDonald stepping in to be the first baseman tonight. Chris McHugh exited last night in the loss to Katuitt, kind of grabbing at his left shoulder. It happened on a swing. Took batting practice today and seemed to be okay, but obviously maybe playing on the cautious side if you're Smythe, knowing that at the end of the day you are still in the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah, definitely seemed to be hitting baseballs at his usual clip, but at that point you're thinking more long-term than short-term, especially since you're already in the playoffs.
Fastball on the corner, strike 2. But that's the thing, that could be a question because McHugh has been so solid defensively at first. And now you give way to McDonald here, who isn't bad necessarily, but just hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. One-two from Went. This is in the dirt. Traffic on the base paths in every single inning so far. The third was the first inning tonight. or a runner wasn't in scoring position. 2-2 fouled off, slicing down that right field line out of play.
And it's walks, really. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 already here in the fourth. Baisley and Went, there's been control issues at times. They've been able to mitigate the damage, obviously, but Commodores have just 1 hit and the Gatemen have 0, but at the very least, Falmouth's getting runners on base. That's part of the difference, but credit the Gatemen pitching so far. They haven't buckled.
2-2, misses away. There's a big hop from Osterhaus on second base.
Commodores have really been dancing off of second, especially when they get down there. A chance maybe for when, if you can time that up to step off. You see Kale's playing, holding him on ever so slightly, but Wentz really been focused on the plate this at-bat.
Osterhaus tied for 4th across Cape Cod in stolen bases. So certainly someone that could wreak some havoc for Went here in the 4th. The Gatemen trying to hold it 0-0. Lopez struck out looking in the second. It was a slider on the outside corner. That was when Baisley was still in the game. So his first look at Shea Went. Check over. Not in time.
And the whole approach to Lopez this whole at-bat really has been away. Whether it's been a fastball in the outside corner or trying to go outside with the breaking ball, Lopez has been able to wait back, foul some pitches down that right field line. You just hope that at a certain point he hasn't seen that pitch in the same spot too many times.
Payoff from Went, misses high. 2 on, nobody out. Dangerous look for the Commodores here in the 4th.
Went has lost some of these guys with 2 strikes. They've been pretty good at bats, but it's just that inability to execute overall. Even when you get to 3 balls, 2 strikes, in a situation where it doesn't really necessarily matter if they're 4-pitch, 5-pitch walks or 8-pitch walks, they're still walks nonetheless.
3rd of the night for Went. Overall, the 6th for Wareham. Gavin Gregor, first pitch. Fastball at the knees. Gregor has that lone Commodore hit. It was a little flare over to short. Cheyenne's glove just a bit over it. Couldn't make the catch. One and one.
And at this point, it's probably just going to be Wentz inning. Just his second inning. Gatemen have clinched a playoff spot. It's early in the 4th. And he's got to know that, and you just have to attack hitters and locate.
Two and one.
This just becomes the issue. When he can't locate the fastball and make competitive pitches to at the very least entice the hitters to swing, he's falling behind, and it's problematic because it's his fastball, the pitch he uses an overwhelming majority of the time. And so when that's nowhere near the plate, you're just not setting yourself up for any success.
Swing and a miss. Wentz back in the count.
And it sets up some of those challenge pitches. Fastball's got great life to it, so you're able to get away with sometimes a location over the heart of the plate. Now with 2 strikes, this is where he struggled the past 2 batters, putting away Commodores hitters. See if he can do it now with 2 strikes on Gregor.
Payoff coming up. And we talked about it, Cory. This has been the issue for Went all season. It's just control. He doesn't get hit very hard. Occasionally, some barrels will get squared up against him, but a lot of the damage done has been with control. Already 3 walks in an inning plus for the righty. Fouled off.
And that's the thing. When he's gotten to 2 strikes, he knows that, hey, I've thrown a lot of fastballs to get to this point. The hitter's seen a lot of fastballs, so I'm going to try a breaking ball now, and it's just he's not had any control of it. He's missed a lot inside to lefties, outside to righties, and they've been able to spit on that pitch easily.
First and second, still no one out. 3-2. Misses inside. 4 walks for Sheehan. He's walked all 3 runners on here in the 4th.
He's gotten to 2 strikes on these hitters. Again, it's just that inability at that point to put batters away because he can't locate consistently enough, and he doesn't have any margin for error because it's typically 2-ball, 2-strike counts. At a certain point, it really just is the location. He's got good stuff, but when he can't get the fastball in there to start counts initially, he's able to fight back, but then can't then throw the breaking ball with 2 strikes to get those strikeouts. It's just tough because you can't locate either of those pitches consistently enough. Not going to get outs.
There is 0 activity going on in the Gatemen bullpen. Just a couple guys loosening, but no one throwing. This inning belongs to Wendt. That was walk 19 of the summer in just 16 innings pitched. It's an issue that's translated over from college as well. First pitch, fouled off. It's Antonio Morales at the plate, trying to break this game open for the Commodores. At Creighton this past season, 29 2/3 innings, 31 walks, 38 strikeouts. Again, he has the stuff. He just needs to locate it and keep it in the zone. Doesn't have a whole lot of credibility after walking the bases loaded in the 4th. Strike 2 on the corner.
And this is how you bounce back, but the thing is, listen, Falmouth hasn't been playing great baseball lately. They got blown out yesterday. I think they might come in, obviously, with some energy to try and stay alive in the playoffs, but at the same time, you don't want to give them anything because they might be feeling the pressure with their backs up against the wall. But when you walk the bases loaded, you're just helping them out.
Chopper through the infield. Osterhaus scores. Here comes Lopez. Throw home is offline and gets to the backstop. Morales heads up to second with a 2 RBI single, and the Commodores up 2-0.
Typically that might be an out, but playing the corners in to try and cut down the run at the plate and then turn the double play at first on the back end is going to lead to that situation where it's too high for McDonald to make a play, the drawn in infield. And again, that's just another 2-strike pitch. And again, it's soft contact, but it catches too much of the plate. And it just goes from bad to worse. And when you walk guys on base, in this case the base is loaded, it's the big inning potential, and it has that feel to it right now.
Second and third, no one out. Here's Chris Newstrom with the top of the order waiting on deck. Strike 1. Again, Wendt has been getting ahead. That was the first hit allowed off of him tonight. But 4 walks in an inning plus is where things have gone south for the righty.
And that curveball is just kind of missed in that lefty's batter's box nearly every time he's thrown it.
His last outing against Bourne gave up 2 hits and 2 walks. Just 1 run allowed. Fly ball, foul territory along the line. No one's getting there.
So here we go again. 2 strikes. The problem has either been on that last at bat, a pitch that caught too much of the plate, or a pitch that's just non-competitive. You have to find that happy medium to get an out.
There's got to be a put-away pitch for Wendt here. You're right, Cory. Newstrom up. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to third. Ended the second inning. Entered today batting just 130 on the summer. Certainly somebody that Wendt could try and take advantage of here. 1-2. Did he offer at it? He did. crucial out number 1 for Shea Went.
You said it, crucial to get a key guy in Newstrom who struggled this summer. The reward is you get to face Mike Anu at the top of this order. But you can breathe a little easier now knowing that at the very least you finally got that first out in your back pocket.
I don't know if I like that reward, Corey. That's not a fun consolation.
Well, I think the one part is you can face New with the bases loaded or with 2 guys on.
That's a good point.
But yeah, it certainly is not much of a reward.
2 in scoring position for the Commodores. 1 out here in the 4th. First pitch, high in the air, medium depth in right field. Cruson makes the catch. Tagging is Gregor. Throw to the plate is not in time. Sack fly for Mike Anu. He does his job, and Falmouth heads up 3-0.
This was struck fairly well, but it didn't end up going that deep in the outfield. Cruson's got a good arm, but you kind of saw a double shuffle on his end before he got rid of that ball. And that kind of allowed the play to possibly happen. It was a pretty accurate throw. He settles under it, shuffle 1, shuffle 2, and then gets rid of it, as opposed to just 1 and fire. So really no chance to get the runner at the plate.
Morales moved up to 3rd. Here's Carl Schmidt. Ball 1. Strike 1. Season series between Wareham and Falmouth started with a 4-1 Gatemen win. It was in the earlier portion of the season. Then that first weekend in July, Falmouth 11-4 win, 7 errors from the Gatemen. 2-1. The 2 games that followed, a 12-5 Wareham win, and then a 3-0 Gatemen victory just a week ago. Wareham's already clinched the season series. It's still a game that matters for playoff positioning. Maybe not necessarily 1-1 between these 2 teams.
And that's the thing, it does matter. And I don't usually like to make statements about body language or energy because it's hard to quantify that, and I'm not in these guys' heads, but kind of lethargic is the word I'd throw out there right now.
Strike 2.
You're down 3-0. Besides McDonald's fly out in the first, you haven't hit a single ball hard tonight. The defense has been somewhat sluggish. Lethargic and somewhat apathetic, too, I think, at this point in time.
Hoping that they can turn it around in the latter half of this game. 3-2, misses away. Make that 4 walks in this inning for Shea Went. Now a little bit of activity in the Gatemen bullpen.
And I think if you need any motivation, it's in the fact that we saw the shot of all the Gatemen fans here tonight. It's your last regular season home game. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, give them something to be happy about.
You're playing a team that's 15-22-1 and lost 14-4 last night.
Way to sugarcoat it, Corey. On the corners for the Commodores, here's Ken Schmidt, the lefties, walked twice. And he starts with ball 1.
And you give the Commodores some credit because this rally started bottom part of this order, but 3 straight walks set them up pretty nicely at the same time.
Fly ball center field. Yost drifts, and he makes the catch. Falmouth leaves some ducks on the pond, but not before 3 runs come in for the Commodores. Wareham trying to answer in the home half on Cape League TV. Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. so you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When it comes to protecting your home, car, or business, trust the team that's been covering our community for generations. For personalized coverage and service that you can count on, the choice is easy. It's Morse, of course. Visit morseins.com today.
Home half of the fourth, Jake Dorn has been perfect through 3 innings for Falmouth. His offense woke up in the top half, and the Commodores with a 3-0 lead over the Gatemen. Wareham turns it back over to the top of the order to try and get that first damage done in this one.
And they need just some kind of spark of energy, jolt of excitement, because offensively it's been nothing, and then things just kind of fell apart in that last inning. And it's a shame because you had that going ahead by 2, 7th inning last night, but Joe McLaughlin put it pretty accurately in the title of his recap last night. 7th inning spark was extinguished, and now as the Gatemen, you're just trying to get that back, because at this point, if you go into the playoffs with this sort of lack of energy, not having anything to rally behind, that could potentially be a problem.
Falmouth got the runs across, 3 straight walks to open the inning. Antonio Morales, 2 RBI single into right field. Newstrom struck out, Mike Anu sacrifice fly. Carl Schmidt walked, and then Ken Schmidt flew out to center field. 3 spot for the Commodores. And with how this Gateman offense has been playing over now the last couple of games, Corey, just 3 runs over the last 18 innings. 18 plus, really, when you count in today.
And it has been interesting, just sort of the 360. I think part of it is guys are tired. That's why you're seeing so many new faces into the game tonight, but a chance for them to come through. But that is no doubt a troubling trend.
1-1 to Jack Cale. Ground ball over the middle. Osterhaus ranges to his right. 1 away.
And at this point, you're just facing a guy in Dorn who has been dominating you over the course of now nearly 8 innings, and maybe that's part of the problem, and he just happens to have your number. But again, Foster Apple, Jack Cale, Will Parker, Matt Chavez, those are 4 guys that didn't face him at all, and it's a different scouting report, obviously, but at the same time, you're seeing more and more of his repertoire. There's no hits at all for the Gatemen so far.
Colby Turner rockets one into left field, but foul along that line. Yeah, that a week ago today, Gatemen went into Gov Fuller Field, took that one 3-0 over the Commodores, but Dorn came in and pitched in relief. 4 innings of 1 hit ball, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He was pretty successful and has carried that over into his 2nd appearance tonight. 0-1 behind Turner. Got out of the way.
And you look at that game, it was 3 runs all in the 3rd inning. Other than that, nothing doing for either team. And you really got spurred by a great outing by Josh Butler. Season high for the Gatemen this summer was 6 innings. No runs allowed. And then the bullpen from there went to work. So that really helped you out, no doubt.
2-1 for Colby Turner. He had a soft ground out back to Dorn on the mound for his opening at bat.
And this is so big for the Commodores to have Dorn pitch the way he pitched, because coming into this game, ERA 1-7 in terms of starting pitchers especially, up over 5.
Grounded to short. Lopez, long throw on target. 2 away.
It just tells you, obviously you mentioned how the Commodores pitching has been more of a struggle compared to the offense, but it's been especially early on. Innings 1-6, kind of the main focus. The ERA has been over 5 during that period of time throughout the summer. So now Dorn's kind of eliminated that trend by his start here tonight.
And that could be something pretty crucial for a team that's, fighting for their playoff lives, but also just to try and end off the regular season strong. I mean, nobody enjoys losing, Corey, not at this stage. So even if the playoffs aren't a possibility and in the realm of conversation after tonight for the Commodores, never know what can happen. Fouled off from Caden McDonald, 1 and 2. Tommy Skelding's warming up in the pen for Wareham. Likely the next pitcher to come into this game for the Gatemen.
And I think part of the problem is, Josh, given Falmouth the circumstances for the Commodores, they have to win this game no matter what. So you're going to see as many top options as they have out of the bullpen. The Gatemen having already clinched that spot, probably not the same situation.
Just got a piece of it. He stays alive. But some of the bats, though, Cory, that have been hot for a majority of the season and have been kind of that shining light in the order, have gone cold as well over the last couple of games, even before the playoffs were clinched.
And that's the thing, and I think you're hopeful that's just a factor of fatigue more than anything and just needing to get them days off. And here you are giving a lot of them some time off here tonight. So you're hoping that fixes it because they just seem like too good of players to go in a prolonged slump.
League-wide off day on Monday before the playoffs. You hope that some of these guys can just start to feel better. But again, Gatemen hadn't clinched the playoffs until that win against Chatham. And you think back to the weekend, you lose 2 out of 3. That was kind of the first sign of trouble. The Chatham win 9-0, pretty commanding. Oh, things are back to normal. And then 3 straight since. McDonald's worked it back full. Had a hard fly out into left field. Really the only piece of good contact the Gatemen have had so far tonight. Infield shifts over, 3-2, swing and a miss. 4 perfect innings for Jake Dorn heading into the 5th. Falmouth 3, Wareham nothing.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Shameless Plug Electric, hitting home runs on every job. Wareham's top choice for electrical work. Call Shameless Plug Electric.
Gatemen still trailing here in the 5th. 3-0 Commodore lead. Got a nice look out into center field. Cory, we've seen a couple familiar faces out there getting to place some seats down. Yeah.
And you certainly kind of get that Eagle's Nest perch out there. Some nice seats all around Spillane Field.
It's got to be a pretty good view out there. Shea went 2 innings, and he walked a ton. Total of 5 batters for the Commodores. Gave up the 3 runs in the 4th. So in comes Tommy Skelding, the righty out of Kentucky, to try and slow down the Commodore offense that really started to get hot just last inning. Swing and a miss on Bear Harrison. Good way to start.
Yeah, we saw Skelding in that loss to Bourne a couple nights ago. A good, clean first inning. Then in the 8th inning, that's where things started to fall apart. This just gives him an opportunity to take a deep breath, lower leverage situation.
Strike 2. Yeah, Skelding had an up and down 7th and then back out for the 8th in a tie game, 3-3. Gave up 4 runs. And at that point, ended the scoring. Bourne took that one 7-3 over Wareham. Got him on the corner. 3-pitch K for Tommy Skelding. Get back in a rhythm, righty.
Exactly right, and I think strike's obviously important, but we talked about how the Gatemen have not really had any hard-hit balls so far tonight. This is just a great breaking ball. That outside corner is definitely open to the pitchers, I think, tonight. But you go up and down this sort of line score and at bats for the Commodores. How many hard-hit balls does Falmouth have? Feels like not a ton, but a lot of walks.
Grounder to second. There's Kale, 2 away.
And so here Tommy Skelding is throwing 4 straight strikes and getting 2 outs. It's a winning formula. And the way Falmouth has hit so far, there's been no indication that they're swinging the bats that well. So attack the zone.
Just 2 hits for Falmouth. One of them and 2 RBI single with the bases loaded. So obviously the corners come in. Makes things difficult to make a play. The other just an infield singer off the bat of Gavin Greger. Fly ball left center field. Apple and Yost give it a good run. Can't get there. Into the alley. Yost fields. Gets it back to the infield, but not before Lopez stops at second with a 2-out double.
Well, that certainly is a hard-hit ball. It looked like a pitch up in the zone that Lopez just got underneath of and slugged out into the gap. Up in the zone, waited back on it, and just turned on it. Not the end of the world if you're Skelding. Still live to fight another pitch. You still got 2 outs. You're still facing the bottom of this Falmouth order. Just try and shake that off. Focus on the guy at the plate.
Now you have to get through Greger. Single in the second, walk in the fourth. Came around to score on the sac fly. One and 0. And for Skelding, you have to imagine that if he can get through an inning or 2 of scoreless baseball, it's got to get his confidence back up after struggling in that second inning against Bourne just a few nights ago.
It would, and then potentially you could use him again in a similar situation moving forward.
And this was somebody that came in for the Gatemen about midway through the season and pitched pretty well in his instances. Going about 2 innings, giving up 1 run, and obviously at ERA, those numbers may not look great, but for the context of the game and how high scoring a majority of these contests are in the Cape League, it's not half bad. It's just about limiting the big innings. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Exactly right. It is those big innings. You take them out of the mix, and that ERA really starts to tumble down. And it kind of has been a mixed bag of obviously success for Skelding, but also the appearances have really been a different range, a mix of range in terms of high leverage, low leverage.
One, 2, just got a piece of it. Matt Chavez out of the game. This is Pat Kostnin behind home plate, getting his first appearance of the season from Florence Darlington Tech. So Chavez gets replaced and gets another one of those catchers that hasn't seen any action, some playing time for Ryan Smythe's squad. The 1-2, lined over to short. Cheyenne on a hop. In time. Scoreless 5th for Tommy Skelding. Gatemen still down 3-0. Getting a good personal injury attorney is very difficult. If you or a family member has been involved in an accident, hurt at work, suffered a slip and fall, or have been injured due to negligence of someone else, contact the lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. They are experienced trial attorneys who practice in all of the courts in the Commonwealth. The firm has been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for outstanding legal representation. Contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham. Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP also has offices in New Bedford and Falmouth. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website, www.rkm-law.com. Gatemen trying to get on the board here in the 5th. Falmouth up 3-0. Still a prestigious night for Wareham here at Spillane Field. Getting a couple awards. Jay Spinelli, General Manager of the Year. Wareham winning the President's Cup as well. For more on who was in attendance for those ceremonies, our Rayna Maggelet.
Thanks, Josh. So I had the incredible opportunity to talk to Judy Walden Scarfile, who was the first and only female president of the Cape Cod Baseball League. She worked for the league for 45 years. She started as a scorekeeper and eventually worked her way up to be the president of the league. She actually, in the 70s, she overcame some hardships throughout her entire tenure as being a woman in sports, but specifically, she got kicked out in the 1970s out of the press box at Yankee Stadium because she was the CCBL scorekeeper where they had a game there. So she experienced so much and she overcame so much. And I got to interview her, and it'll be featured in our post game after the show.
How cool. Thanks, Rayna. Cory, how cool is that, getting to speak to a former commissioner and president of Cape Cod Baseball League?
It sure is. Obviously, the story itself, to be able to work your way all the way up. Anytime you get to hear that, see that, no matter the position, just very unique, and obviously just such a trailblazer for women in sports.
Fly ball left center field. Gregor and Newstrom back. And Newstrom makes the catch.
Because that's the thing. Obviously, someone in her position had to trailblaze her own path in terms of rising up the ranks in this league, because she didn't have probably a lot of other role models she could look to, because when she obviously came to prominence in the league, one of the first women to have a position like that, and gives other women the opportunity to follow her example.
And that's one of those things, Cory, good and bad. She certainly has a lot of stories and a lot of experience about what she had to go through to get to where she was and where she is today. Just remarkable to have someone in attendance that's done so much as Apple loses his bat. Might need some stick-on for his next swing.
We've seen, I think, a fair share of situations where the bat comes flying out of the hands. That's probably the highest up it's gone. And obviously, really all these situations, thankfully, you have that protective netting there. But this was just right out of the hands.
Now, Cory, we were lucky enough. Today's been a pretty busy day for everybody at Spillane Field. Winning some awards, and obviously it being the last home game of the season. Got to take some batting practice earlier. Now, thankfully, it didn't happen with any of the interns that a bat went flying out of a hand. You actually had a couple good rips, I would say.
Well, thank you. At this point, maybe put me in the lineup. I want to thank Nate Ewing and the whole coaching staff, but Nate Ewing especially, for throwing all those BP pitches.
Yeah, his arm's got to be tired after that.
And I asked
I'd say probably how many interns do we have? Probably about
it's a lot.
15, 20.
And they were cycling through everyone. It seemed like
I think everybody got through twice at a minimum.
Yeah. And Ryan Smythe was watching as well. I asked him after we were done to kind of give me a lineup full of interns, what it would look like.
Fly ball left field. Newstrom back. He looks up. Goodbye. Solo shot for Foster Apple, and the Gatemen on the board in the 5th. It's 3-1.
That's the spark that we were waiting for the Gatemen. They needed something to go their way. They hadn't gotten a hit, hadn't gotten a base runner off of Dorn. This was just a hanger, it seems like, over the heart of the plate. And man, did Apple just turn on it. Left over, middle in, drop the barrel of the bat on it. One of these new guys providing the spark for the Gatemen. Exactly what they needed to get some life, get some energy.
First base runner for the Gatemen tonight. Hopefully that can maybe open a can of worms. Hayden Yost grounded out to end the second inning. He's up for the second time. And that has to feel good, just a confidence builder, especially from one of the newer players, to kind of say, hey, let's get back in this. This is not out of reach. It's only a 3-1 game. That was cranked in the left field.
That's the thing. When you're not going well as a team offensively, I think that's when you might really value some hot bats from different summer leagues coming and joining you.
1-1, lined over to first and caught. Nice play from Ken Schmidt. 2 away.
And it's a tough break for Yost there, but just notice now the exit velocity by Yost. Kind of ratcheting up on that hard hit line out. So a chance for the Gatemen. Hitting is contagious, and even when they result in outs, the fact that the team is seemingly swinging the bats better, getting better contact, harder exit velo, a much better sign.
If that gets by Schmidt, it's probably into the corner. Tough break for the Gatemen.
And this is the thing with those new guys, maybe in part used to give some of the regular starters a day off, but guys like Parker, guys like Apple trying to show that they could potentially be postseason starters.
And if Foster Apple's going to do that in the postseason, I think that the Gatemen will take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Parker trying to keep the inning alive. 2-0 pitch, fouled away. Parker's got some pop. OPS right around 900 this past year at West Point. In 10 games for the Gatemen, in 4 games rather for the Gatemen last season. Had nearly an 1100. 2-1, swing and a miss.
He's worked some deep counts in his at-bats this summer. Came in over one with a walk. Getting the start tonight. Really been just a prolific hitter at West Point his collegiate career so far.
Just missed on the corner. Parker stays alive.
And this is a big spot. Full count, now a run in off of Dorn, the first Gateman hit of the night. Dorn now going longer in this game, 5 innings. How will he last? The deeper he goes.
3-2, high pop-up, shallow infield on the left side. There's Lopez. That ends the inning. But the Gatemen get one back. Solo shot from Foster Apple. Heading into the 6th, Falmouth 3, Wareham 1. Cory Miller will have you the rest of the way on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Second half of this game from Spillane Field, the final regular season game here in Wareham for the Gatemen. They find themselves trailing 3-1 to the Commodores, finally getting on the board in the 5th. First hit, first base runner for Wareham. A solo shot by Foster Apple. Tommy Skelding back to work. His team trails by just 2 in the 6th.
And how great does that have to feel to break the seal in the 5th? Foster Apple, first home run in a Gateman uniform, getting on the board. Somebody that struggled a little bit early on in this season, mainly just with contact-wise, 3 strikeouts, all 3 of his putouts heading into this game. And he gets that home run, Wareham on the board. Now you can kind of start to fight back in the second half of this game.
And it's 8-9-1 for the Commodores as Morales takes a called strike on the outside corner. Bad news potentially for the Gatemen. You look at the Bourne-Cotuit game. The Braves back up by 3. Cotuit down to their final 3 outs, coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Bourne trying to add on in the top half of the inning. A Bourne win and the Gatemen lost tonight. And Wareham
would be eliminated from winning the division title. An 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 that is. Strikeout of Antonio Morales begins the top of the 6th.
Skelding's been working well now through an inning and a third. Just a hard-hit double from Adrian Lopez, but at that point with the 2 outs, wasn't as damaging as it could have been. Just keep it rolling.
So now Chris Newstrom, who's 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and a strikeout for the righty. First pitch, Skelding produces a swing and a miss. And it is unfortunate because obviously if the Gatemen get some help from the opponents playing Bourne the rest of the way, you still, it seemed like, have a very clear path to winning that West Division title. Now quickly 0-2 on Chris Newstrom. But that's the key thing. Now that these two teams are tied at the top of the division, unless Bourne loses, having that tiebreak advantage, it doesn't matter what the Gatemen do. 0-2 pitch, foul tip into the glove of Costin. 2 up, 2 down, both via the punch-out to begin the 6th.
Yeah, with both teams tied points-wise, Gatemen have to win out, especially with a Braves win today. Bourne would have to lose tomorrow. The Gatemen would have to obviously come back and win this game, but also win against Hyannis tomorrow.
Micah New, top of the order for the Commodores, 0-1 as Skelding continues to get ahead. The Braves in action against Whitey tomorrow, a team that has had a solid summer, but lately the Red Sox have fallen down to 4th in the East. Still a playoff team nonetheless, 1-1 on New.
Yeah, and with that said, YD heading into today 19-16-3, so even 4th place in the East, better than 1st in the West.
1-1, up and in, 2-1. And the Gatemen, their final regular season game on the road at Hyannis. So a win for the Gatemen would not only clinch a top 2 seed, but still make it possible for the team to win the West Division regular season title. Skelding's 2-1 is wrapped on the ground and threw into left field. 2-out base hit for Micah New. Second time Micah New's been on base tonight. A hard hit base hit right there to keep the inning alive for Carl Schmidt.
Yeah, now the Gatemen could fall as low as 3rd. With the Katuitt loss, the Gatemen would be placed above the Kettleers no matter the outcome of this game as long as Bourne holds on to that league. So there's a couple different ways you can look at it.
That's a line shot into right center field. It's down for a base hit, splits the gap, and rolls to the wall. Yost over to cut it off. New flying around 3rd. He's going to come in to score. An RBI double for Carl Schmidt. The Commodores get that run back. It's 4-1.
And that makes things a little bit more difficult here in the 6th. That home run just gets wiped off the board, and it's back to being a 3-0 game, 4-1, however you want to look at it. 3-run deficit. That was just tattooed into right center. And a good piece of hitting from Carl Schmidt.
Things were really going well for Tommy Skelding. 2 straight strikeouts, just attacking the zone. Micah New keeps it alive. Hard hit ground ball base hit. And Carl Schmidt, as you said, tagged that one. Now it's Ken Schmidt. Pair of walks and a flyout for the Commodores' first baseman tonight. Carl Schmidt on at second. Pitch by Skelding. Called strike. And now it is a tough spot for the Gatemen. Officially second half of the game, you're down by 3. You have just 1 hit. A homer, that's the only other base runner you have tonight. With an offense that no doubt is struggling at the moment. Pitch home, misses the zone. Schmidt came in at 281, 2 homers, 22 RBI. It really has been a consistent core in the middle of the order for Jared Saltalamakia's squad. They're Harrison, the Schmidts, Micah New.
line foul down the left field line. And you don't know how this game will end up tonight, and you certainly don't know what tomorrow at Hyannis is going to look like. But if you're the Gatemen, even if you're in the playoffs, it would certainly seem like worst-case scenario would be to limp to the finish line here to end the regular season and head into the playoffs losers of 5 straight.
Well, it's funny because you talked about it, about what happened with the Gatemen last year. They started off hot and got cold at the end of the season. Well, the Gatemen have gone from cold to red hot and now back to cold.
And it just seemed like the only question was, could they continue this hot streak till the very end? And they've gotten close, but just trying to recapture some of that magic right now. At the same time, though, you're trying to evaluate new guys and give the returning guys from the early stretches of this summer days off. And it's just a challenging thing to balance. A 2-2 from Skelding. Line shot into center. It's down for a base hit. Schmidt getting the wave around third. He'll score without a throw. Kent Schmidt drives in Carl Schmidt. It's a 5-1 game.
Just bad to worse. Skelding a great 5th. Great first 2 outs of the 6th. And then 3 straight knocks. Got to give Falmouth credit, just producing and capitalizing with 2 outs. It's not easy to do.
Commodores surpassing run total from last night. 4 last night, 5 so far tonight. There's another base hit. It's into right field. Schmidt holds up at second as Bear Harrison joins the hitting parade with 2 outs. 4 straight knocks by the Commodores.
I mean, that was just softly punched out into right field. With the runner on, McDonald has to hold Schmidt at the bag, and then Kale playing more back up the middle, and it just creates a wide hole on that right side of the infield. And as soon as it touched the grass, it stopped rolling. It was not hit very hard.
So a couple of hard hit base hits. That one obviously not the same, but a hit nonetheless. Here's Osterhaus with 2 on and 2 away. Off of the glove of Costin. To the backstop it goes. Advance easily for both Schmidt and Harrison in the scoring position. Costin, the second catcher the Gatemen have used tonight, both in their debuts. First it was Chavez. He got just 1 at bat. 2 guys that have come in kind of at the last minute for the Gatemen. And you would think, it seems, would be the backup options to Drew Rogers. A 1-0 pitch. Another one in and out of the glove of Costin. It's a ball nonetheless as it stays in front of him. And so another situation as he's called for the pass ball where you're trying to evaluate a potential backup catcher option to get these guys reps, but at the same time, you're not going with your best option. Maybe it doesn't help you win the game. 2-0 pitch, slap foul.
Well, I mean, these 2 guys were brought in really over the last 2 or 3 days. Eris Rivera released. Gabe Kushner got to come into the game as a pinch runner against Brewster. It was his only appearance, and then he was released as well. Just a lot of coming and going on the Gatemen roster. So many transactions, especially over these last 2 or 3 weeks. Made things difficult.
Skelding's 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball just misses the zone. 3-1. Lopez is on deck.
And for a while, it didn't seem to matter. So many guys coming in and out. Some of the best players, Levi Clark, Hunter Carnes, Ty Daly, Chase Richter, I mean, you name it. Those top performers left, and they kept winning. Not anymore.
3-1. Slow chopper to short. Shayan charges. Off-balance throw on the money to first to get Skelding and the Gatemen out of the inning without any further damage, but not before 2 more come across to score on the back of 4 Falmouth hits, putting some distance between themselves and the Gatemen. Can Wareham respond? We return for the bottom of the 6th, up next on Cape League TV.
The insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, Dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Gatemen trail by 4 in the final regular season home game here at Spillane Field. So, Josh, maybe an opportunity for us to reflect on the Gatemen season that has been in the regular season. We talked about, especially that tough start to July, the 5 straight losses opening the month, the Gatemen 13-7 since. And despite kind of this cold streak lately, a lot to be excited about over the course of the regular season. You see what they kind of have done to lead the league in runs, homers, RBIs, etc., OPS, and then lately have been one of the best pitching staffs the last 2 weeks, the lowest ERA average against lately. So it seems like if everything can fall in the right place at the right time, it's a team that has a lot of potential, both as a hitting offense and a good pitching staff. Tapper to the right side, fielded cleanly by Osterhaus over at second. Throw on to first is in time to retire Pat Costin.
And you'd like to hope so, right, Cory? I mean, this team has shown so many flashes of really being the best team across Cape Cod for so long, really a 3-week stretch in July. This was the team to beat and showed it every single night. Whether it was winning in shootouts, winning in pitchers' duels, a couple games were just complete efforts, scoring a bunch, not allowing a ton. That's gone away over these last couple of games. You need to find that rhythm back and kind of get that mojo with the guys that are still left from the opening day roster, as well as all the new faces that have come in over these last couple weeks.
1-0 on Van Shane. New pitcher on the mound for the Commodores as Shane tops it foul. It's Reese Markham, Gulf Coast State Junior College product. This is his 4th game. All have been in relief, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and now this is the challenge when you don't get to Dorn early, as Falmouth has struggled some, innings 1 through 6 ERA-wise. They do have some really strong bullpen options, and Markham's been one of them lately.
Yeah, and Falmouth now going to 2 guys today that have had serious success against the Gatemen. The last time these 2 teams played, Wareham won 3-0, but all 3 runs were scored off of the Falmouth starter, Torin O'Haran. He went just 2 1/3, gave up all 3. Reese Markham came in relief, 1 2/3, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Dorn came in, 4 hits, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs. And today Dorn is just completely built off of that, just the 1 hit allowed for a solo home run. Now, we'll see if Markham can kind of continue that trend, because these guys were pretty dominant against the Gatemen.
Line shot by Shane right into the shifted infield. Osterhaus right behind the second base bag. Had him played perfectly. A tough out for Shane, and there's 2 away.
That's got to suck for Van Shane. That's probably the best hit ball he's had in the last couple games, maybe the last week and a half. And just with the shifted infield, Osterhaus right there. Any other day of the week, any other team, that's a base hit.
Lineup flips over. Top of the order, Jack Cale. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Pitch from Markham misses outside, and it really is just kind of a winning formula on paper for Commodores manager Jared Saltalamacchia. You're in a must-win game to keep your postseason hopes alive. Why not go with the 2 arms who are rested that really shut down the Gatemen team, even if in a loss last time out? It's 1-0. The pitch to Jack Cale. Squares it up. Looper into left field. It falls in front of Newstrom. A 2-out knock for the Gatemen second baseman.
Cale's last couple games, he started to put it together, showing why he hit over 300 this past season at Columbia, hit 299 in the Cal Ripken League. It's a good hit.
A contact first guy. He had that huge RBI single to, at the time, give the Gatemen some insurance runs against Katuitt last night. A base hit here tonight. He's 1 for 3. Inning continues for Colby Turner.
Coastal Plain League, rather. There's so many this summer.
There sure are. As Colby Turner, facing the shifted infield, takes a breaking ball outside, 1-0. Turner and McDonald, two of the kind of consistent guys, along with Cruz and then behind them, that are not getting the night off. McDonald's gotten a couple lately, but those three kind of mainstay bats, a combined 0 for 6 tonight. But then again, the Gatemen have just 2 hits. 1-1 on the Gatemen third baseman, Colby Turner. Lately has really split time between right field and third base, looking a little more comfortable in the Gatemen outfield. 1-1 pitch to him. Big swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Got to fix his pants. There's a rip right in that right pant leg.
I feel like he's had that now for a couple of nights, too.
Has he? I feel like
someone
has noticed that.
Someone has had a tear that I've noticed, and it's pretty obvious as that one is.
Probably Colby Turner.
See what he does on the 1-2 with Kale taking off. That one is smoked into left field, but it's going to hang up right for Newstrom. Makes the grab to end the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 runner left on for the Gatemen. Falmouth in control right now. We move ahead to the 7th, 5-1 Commodores on Cape League TV.
Finding a good personal injury attorney is very difficult. If you or a family member has been involved in an accident, hurt at work, suffered a slip and fall, or have been injured due to negligence of someone else, contact the lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. They are experienced trial attorneys who practice in all of the courts in the Commonwealth. The firm has been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for outstanding legal representation. Contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham. Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP also has offices in New Bedford and Falmouth. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website, www.rkm-law.com.
We obviously can't do any of the work we do without the people behind the scenes. There's Marcus Lyons, one of our camera operators. We're blessed with some of the best up and around the Cape League. Nate Crowley, another one who's been on the camera. There he is down the first baseline. And we can't forget about Luna Yu as well down the third baseline. As we said, these home games, the video that we need, we can't do any of the work we do without the work that they do. So obviously our last regular season home game here at Spillane Field,
huge
chance to shout them out.
Not just operating the cameras, but so good at their jobs too. When you think about it, I mean, it makes our lives so much easier to be able to, look at our monitors, get replays, and be able to clearly track the ball, track hitters, batters, and pitchers on the mound as well. Such a great job. And that's a testament to the camera crew, our producers, Chuck Luarasi, Abby Smith as well.
Because you look at our broadcast and the final product that goes out on the air, you would think there's 5+ people up here in the control room, but there's only 2, Chuck Luarasi, Abby Smith, and those 2 combined with those 3 camera operators, the product in terms of visually how it looks is just something else. And so we're blessed with that amazing team behind the scenes, no doubt. 2-2 on Adrian Lopez. Skelding back out for a third inning of work. Deals here to the Commodores shortstop. Can't nab the zone, full count.
That got me thinking, Cory, in the last inning. How many collegiate summer leagues do you think there are for baseball? I looked it up. I found a number.
We'll do it again as that one's rolled foul. I'm going to go with 90.
You're actually really close. It's 85.
Wow.
The Baseball Observer recognizes 85.
I've heard that potentially Idaho is looking into adding one.
Really? Well, I mean, there is one in Alaska, so I can't necessarily say that that's the most far-fetched thing in the world.
Leadoff walk for Adrian Lopez. And that's one of the premier leagues, too, the one in Alaska.
Usually the way that everybody kind of goes about it is Cape Cod is right up there. Northwoods is another good one. And then Alaska. Then you have NECBL, PGCBL, a couple of the other leagues as well. Cal Ripken, Coastal Plain. But it's so interesting, the difference, because the Baseball Observer recognizes 85.
Throw down to second on the steal by Lopez, in way ahead of the tag by Sheehan. An easy stolen base. He got a running start, and he's in scoring position.
Yet the National Allegiance of College Summer Baseball only sanctions 12. So there's 73. There's 73 leagues that are technically unsanctioned, according to the NACSB.
Pitch to Gregor. Flies it into left field. Apple on the move, tracking back. He makes a nice catch on the run. Lopez retreating. There's one away. Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are so many collegiate baseball players across the 3 NCAA divisions that there's a lot of demand to have those leagues all across the country. And so there's a reason there's that many different leagues. It's just tough to keep track of all of them.
What league or leagues did you get to work in before you were here?
Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League and the East Coast Collegiate Baseball
Where
League.
are those?
New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and they touch New York a little bit as well. And I know you were in New York.
I was. Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, PGCBL. Had a fun time. The Albany Dutchman, the Glens Falls Dragon.
This is Antonio Morales, the right fielder for the Commodores. Head 2-0 against Skelding. This is kind of a new look for Skelding because he's gone multiple innings several times, but it seems like really 2 innings has been his cap. So another chance for the Gatemen to evaluate a pitcher in a new situation. Increased workload for Tommy Skelding as he can't catch the zone on the outside corner. 3 straight balls to begin the at-bat on Antonio Morales. And that's the theme across these past few days. No matter what the Gatemen outcome, sure there have been losses, but it's been a lot of evaluation being done by the coaching staff. 3-0. Doesn't challenge Morales, who works a 4-pitch walk. Runners on first and second with 1 away. I mean, you look at the game last night, a chance to evaluate some of your arms, especially your newer arms. Josh McDevitt was just added a couple days ago. He appeared in the 8th, went into the 9th. And then Cannon Clayton came on for the save potentially in a high-pack situation. Now here comes Ryan Smythe to talk things over with Tommy Skelding.
Here comes a new arm.
This time it's Ryan Smythe making the pitching change. Skelding's night is done. He yields here, 2 runners on with the Commodores trying to put this game out of reach in the 7th.
Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen field. Go Gatemen.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player. You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
In this push for the playoffs, the Gatemen trying to get in as many new faces as they can. A guy who was just added on this Gatemen squad out of Maryland, it's Andrew Cory, the righty, taking over for Tommy Skelding.
Yeah, he pitched in 18 games for Maryland this past season as a sophomore. The right-hander, 24 innings, 27 strikeouts. So another instance where a guy has a lot of electric stuff, over a K per 9, or over 9 Ks per 9, I should say. But struggled a little bit with control, got hard hit, 7.13 ERA. Obviously, of course, when you think about collegiate pitchers, it's pretty hard to have a lower ERA with the metal bats, and that are certainly having a big advantage. Things can kind of shift in a wood bat summer league, so hoping that Cory can perform pretty well in this spot for the Gatemen and try and get Wareham out of trouble.
He transferred from Maryland, or from Wake Forest, that is, to Maryland. Finishing his sophomore season this past spring, 6'2", 215-pound righty. The runners on base are Skelding's responsibility. First and second, one away. First outing for Cory in a Gateman uniform. He faces Chris Newstrom at the bottom of the order. First pitch of the at-bat. This is low and inside, ball one. And again, it's just a situation for Wareham. You probably aren't going to see a ton of familiar names maybe at this point with some additions to the roster. Wareham cannot add anyone after noon tomorrow, so they need to see these guys, it seems, before the regular season ends. Cory looks to second and comes home on the 1-0. Catches the outside corner, a ball and a strike. And again, you really saw that last night. Cannon Clayton, a guy who had appeared in just one game against Chatham in a blowout. Instead of going to a guy like Ty Stark, TJ Schlager, it was Cannon Clayton in a situation with the tying and winning runs on base for Katuitt last night. Cory fires 1-1 pitch, slaps straight back and foul. And you might wonder why that is. Well, the Gatemen trying to gauge potentially Clayton's ability to handle pressure-packed situations late in games in a highly contested contest.
Well, unfortunately, if that's the sample size that the Gatemen will go off of, they got their answer, and it didn't work out in Wareham's favor. Walk off, 3-2 loss to the Kettleers. That's going to be the one that towards the end of the season, if the Gatemen don't manage to get that 1 seed, maybe even at this point a 2 seed, that could be one that you kind of look at and circle and say, hey, this is the one that we should have had.
Because that is the thing. There were guys like Ty Stark, TJ Schlager that it seemed like were hot in that game, so theoretically could have pitched, but that was just not the plan. McDevitt made his summer debut with Wareham, and then Clayton just his second appearance of the summer in a really tight one-run game at the time. Katuitt walked it off against the Gateman bullpen. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Good start for Cory. Strikes out Chris Newstrom, and there's 2 away in the 7th. Lineup moves back to the top. Cory getting the swing and the miss on that 2-strike pitch. And this is the part of the Commodores lineup now that extended the lead, got 2 runs in the top of the 6th, 4 straight hits. New through Harrison.
That has to feel good for Cory to get that first out. Now you just need 1 more, but it'll come against a dangerous hitter.
New came in with 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. A big hack and a miss right there. Not really surprised to see Falmouth scoring runs. Been a pretty above-average team in terms of their offense this summer, but it's the pitching that's reversed that trend. A night off of allowing 14 runs to Bourne. They've held the Gatemen to 1 run in just 2 hits. And are now 9 outs away from potentially keeping their playoff hopes alive. Count is 1-1 on Micah New. Cory trying to get the final out of the top of the 7th. That one zips outside. That Bourne-Katuitt game went final. The Braves take it 7-4 over the Kettleers. So a Gatemen loss would wrap things up in terms of a West Division regular season title. Got to think the Bourne Braves players, their fans, have their eyes on this game right now. Koshi's 2-1. Again, misses outside. 3 balls, 1 strike on the DH New.
Well, now that that has gone final, the game that the Gatemen are certainly going to have their eye on, obviously, metaphorically. Hyannis and Orleans tied at 2 in the 6th. If the Firebirds come away with that win, the Gatemen would clinch a top 2 seed.
The 3-1 to New. Big hack, fouls it straight back. So now full count. Runners get a head start with the pitch. And the Gatemen are hopeful that the hottest team in the league in the Firebirds can stay hot and top Hyannis. A team that the Gatemen will see tomorrow at McKeon Park to round out the regular season. Rounding that regular season out tonight, Spillane Field. Payoff pitch, swing, and a miss. How about that introduction for Cory on the mound? 2 outs, both strikeouts, and he's out of trouble here in the top of the 7th. Tommy Skelding, the first to greet him out of the Gatemen dugout. The Gatemen bats trying to wake up here as we move ahead to the bottom of the 7th on Cape League TV.
Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is North America's largest cranberry grower and recognized leader in environmentally responsible real estate development and land stewardship. For 171 years, AD Makepeace Company has supported community events and organizations like your Wareham Gatemen. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For a good piece of glass, call Abby, located at 3 Tyler Ave in East Wareham. Call Abby Glass and Locks about getting a free quote for your windows, doors, locks, and other glass needs.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
There's Glenn Hennington, Gateman president, obviously was a part of that ceremony before the game, recognizing Jay Spinelli, and then the President's Cup being awarded to Wareham. He's got to be a pretty proud guy.
I certainly would be if I was in that position. He's seen a lot here with the Gatemen. Saw a championship in 2018. A couple others as well. I mean, hoping that Wareham can find that magic again that the Gatemen had back in that middle portion of July.
First pitch to McDonald. 1-0 on the Gatemen first baseman. Yeah, that 2018 championship season. This is the first time the Gatemen are in the playoffs in back-to-back seasons since that 2018 and then the season after, 2019 season. Shifted infield against McDonald. Waiting on a 1-0 from Markham. A big hack and a miss. 1-1.
Going from Dorn to Markham is just going from good to great for this Falmouth pitching staff right now. No signs of slowing down on the mound for the Commodores.
1-1. McDonald cranks it foul out of play.
I mean, it's really just been one bad pitch that Foster Apple took deep. Jack Hale had a nice hit, but...
Two of the newer guys.
Yeah.
Accounting for what's been the only offense for the Gatemen. A 1-2 to McDonald on the way. He takes on the outside corner, rung up and down looking to begin the last of the 7th. This heart of the order in Turner, McDonald, Cruzen. Not much to show for it. They've yet to have a hit tonight. This will be the 9th time one of them has come to the bat. Richardson came in at 303, no homers, 7 RBIs. He's kind of solidified himself lately in this cleanup spot. Typically, we'll hit between McHugh and McDonald, break up the righties, introduce some contact between two power hitters. But McHugh getting the night off tonight, so Foster Apple's in the 5th spot in the order. 1-0 to Richardson. Flied foul down the left field line.
Richardson's bat has been getting warm as of late also. He's hitting 297. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but came in at 303. Hovering right around that 300 mark. Another guy that's been here since day one for the Gatemen, and he's certainly playing his best baseball at the right time.
1-1. Loop down the first base line. It hangs up for Schmidt, makes the catch on the fly, and there's 2 away in the home half of the 7th.
And just bad luck. Same thing that happened to Hayden Yost back in the 5th. Not a whole lot you can do there. Got a good piece of it. Straight over to first.
7 outs for the Gatemen to play with. And now here is Foster Apple. Popped that solo shot to left. Was 2 for 5 entering the night tonight. 1 for 2 tonight. Facing the righty Markham for the first time as he blasts that into right center field. On the run is Morales, and he tracks it down in the gap. Hard hit, but a nice job by Morales making the grab on the run, and the Gatemen go down in order in the bottom of the 7th. Down to their final 3 outs, final 6 outs that is, in their last regular season home game here at Spillane Field.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Another trip on the Cape Cod Canal Cruise for 2. 589-11.
Beautiful night here at Spillane Field. Fans picked a perfect night at the ballpark. Last time they'll see the Gatemen here in the regular season. Obviously, Wareham's success in the postseason will dictate how many postseason home games they get, and obviously their seeding will dictate that as well. Not helping their cause for a top 2 seed tonight, but certainly factors around the rest of the league, depending especially upon how Hyannis does. Koshi back to work on the mound. It's 2-3-4 he faces, starting with Carl Schmidt to lead off the 8th. An RBI double last time up. Hard hit, and this time it's a single for Schmidt right back up the middle, out of the reach of Cheyenne. 3rd time Schmidt's been on base tonight.
Corey, we had been taking a peek about some other scores around the league. Hyannis now up 4-2 on Orleans. So the Harbor Hawks with a lead in the 6th inning. That could make things a little interesting. If the Gatemen can't come back, the Harbor Hawks win tonight. Those 2 teams battle tomorrow. And the winner would, at that point, potentially get the 2 seed.
Because the Gatemen would enter still 2 points ahead of Hyannis. 0-1 on Kent Schmidt. But if Hyannis wins, you're even in points. But then with the season series tied, Hyannis
would get it.
Exactly.
Because with a Harbor Hawk win, Hyannis would jump to it after the Kettleers lost today, 36 points to 35. It's incredible how much these standings have changed over these last 3, 4, 5 days.
And that's the thing. I mean, listen, as everyone's noted, including Ryan Smythe, the teams in the championship last year, one was a 3 seed, one was a 4 seed, but going from sole possession of first place by several points to potentially finishing third, that's got to feel like a little bit of a letdown if you're the Gatemen. Now 1-2 on Kent Schmidt.
I don't disagree. One of the other things, Cory, that we'd been keeping an eye on, Harwich was at one point no-hitting Brewster entering the 9th. So a chance to make some magic happen for the Mariners on top of what's already been a great season. And then Carson Tinney homered to lead off the 9th and just completely wiped that possibility off the board. So some pride, a pride home run for the Whitecaps.
And it certainly has been fascinating, not just in the West, is Kent Schmidt down looking. Nice job by Koshi to get that call on the outside corner. The West, the standings have certainly changed, but in the East, it was Whitey and Brewster leading the charge, it seemed like, most of the season atop the division. And then here comes Orleans and Harwich down the stretch, two really hot teams. And now all of a sudden, it's the Firebirds and the Mariners atop that division. If Hyannis tops Orleans, the Mariners jump past the Firebirds back into first place. In the East, it's 0-1 on Bear Harrison. Hitting 4 trips to the plate tonight for the Commodores catcher. It's 1-1 on him. Leadoff single for Carl Schmidt. Hoshi in his first full inning, it seems, for the Gatemen after replacing Skelding in the 7th. Gets a swing and a miss here, and it's 1-2 on Harrison.
And no matter how you slice it, Cory, it's going to be an electrifying playoffs any way you look at it, because anybody can beat anybody in this league.
The series will be best of 3, with Koshi coming home on 1-2. Harrison laying off of that pitch outside, count even. The higher seed will get 2 home games, the first and, if necessary, the 3rd game in the series. First round last year was do or die, 1 game, go home. They've changed it up this year. 2-2 to Harrison. Misses inside. And a payoff pitch upcoming to the Commodores catcher.
And I'm a fan of that, Cory. If 4 teams are going to get in no matter what, make that first round best of 3.
2 teams eliminated, one of them already being Chatham. The Commodores hoping they're not the other squad. Hit hard on the ground. Diving stab by Turner. To his knees, he goes to second for 1. Back to first, they turn it. 5-4-3, and a beautiful double play at that. Turner to Kale to McDonald, and Koshi and the Gatemen out of the inning without any damage. 1 hit, no runs, and no one left on. The Gatemen hoping that double play can spark some momentum. Down to their final 6 outs. They come to the plate on Cape League TV. Coming up next.
Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When it comes to protecting your home, car, or business, trust the team that's been covering our community for generations. For personalized coverage and service that you can count on, the choice is easy. It's Morse, of course. Visit morseins.com today.
Another look at some of the Gatemen faithful. A lot of them have stuck it out. Some have departed here with things getting late, but the old contingent of fans hoping the Gatemen can spark a rally. It begins with Hayden Yost as the lefty Jacob Scholes takes over on the mound. It's Yost, Parker, Costin,
in the bottom of the 8th.
Look, Wareham has had a couple of games scoring 4, 5, 6 runs in the last couple innings. Certainly not out of the cards just yet, but the bats need to get hot. It's going to be the big determining factor is, can Wareham finally produce, not only with guys on, but just getting guys on? A couple of games ago, the question was, are the Gatemen going to be able to drive guys in scoring position home to get runs on the board? Today it's, can you get runners on base to then even give yourself that chance?
Scholes on the mound, the lefty out of Vanderbilt, yet another arm that pitched in the last meeting between these two squads. Went an inning, allowed 1 hit but struck out 3. The ERA on the summer is down to 1.98 in 12 games. He has 2 holds and a save.
This is quite literally a repeat performance from Falmouth's pitching staff when you look at who came in a week ago today, except for Torrin O'Haron, the guy that gave up the 3 Gatemen runs. So certainly Jared Saltalamacchia and the rest of the coaching staff making an adjustment. Obviously the offense has to do their part because the Gatemen pitching staff shut out the Commodores. Now it's been all Falmouth so far tonight, start to finish.
A copy and paste performance game plan for the Commodores, and it's worked. Up by 4, Yost shows bunt, takes on the outside corner, a called strike. Hayden has been one of the hotter Gatemen bats now down the stretch, average under 200 for much of the season. Now up at 242 entering play. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Trying to spark, at the very least, come back to tie this game. Slaps that one into center field. It falls. A leadoff base hit for Hayden Yost.
Good way to start. Good way to start.
Now here's Will Parker. Got his first start in a Gateman uniform in the 2025 summer tonight. Returner from last summer. On the second pitch of the at-bat, Yost finds center field, and he's on with some good speed for Parker. Parker out of West Point. Really interesting story. As he faces the first pitch from Scholes, takes on the inside corner for a strike. A guy who wanted to attend West Point, really growing up his whole life. Someone who aspires to join Delta Force after his playing career at West Point is finished up. And a guy who's really transformed how he plays, how he looks. Taking another strike, it's 0-2. You go back to his 8th grade season, he weighed 110 pounds, stood at 5 feet tall, transformed his body to his senior year in high school, 6'1", 198 pounds. His family had to get 2 fridges just to store the food to feed him. See what he can do on an 0-2 pitch. Scholes delivers inside. Yost takes off as it missed the plate. And now the Gatemen have a runner in scoring position.
What a change over a couple of years.
And at one point, his family thought about raising chickens to have that source of protein at home ready to go.
Instead of just buying it from the supermarket.
In a big spot here, team is down by 4 in need of some runs. 1-2, another curveball, swing and a miss. Parker down swinging, and Scholes gets his first out of the 8th. It's Pat Costin who appeared as a defensive replacement earlier in this one. Scholes went back to that curveball after bouncing one. That one was much better, and a big swing and a miss.
I can't get over that chicken thing.
I know. And then another kind of chicken coincidence in terms of that for Parker. They had his dad built a makeshift batting cage in their backyard, and they used a rotisserie chicken motor as the ball feeder. So he could see more pitches and it would be less of a pain.
Whatever works, I guess.
Yep. Parker now in his 2nd summer with Wareham after a brief stint with the Gatemen in 2024. Costin behind the plate. It was originally Matt Chavez who got the start. Him and Costin, the 2 new catching options for the Gatemen. Again, likely sliding into backup options behind Drew Rogers, who got the night off tonight. Yost is in scoring position, lefty on lefty. Costin takes a breaking ball, and behind in the count, 1-2. Costin grounded to second in the 6th. Shane's on deck. Scholes is on the mound. Yost dancing off of second. And the lefty comes home. Fires a fastball that just misses the outside corner.
And again, Cory, this is a spot. If the Gatemen can load the bases, one swing ties the game. There's still a lot of power in this lineup. Guys just need to get on to get to that point.
Another good take by Costin. A pitch away from getting on would set up a first and second situation, and that's the thing. At one point, this was a 3-run deficit. The solo shot by Apple cut into it, but then 2 runs in the 6th for Falmouth put them back up. Full count pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Costin thought he was headed to first, instead headed back to the dugout on that strikeout looking.
That's just a great pitch on the outside corner. It's just right on that corner. That's perfect. Great frame from Harrison as well.
And now it's the righty Cheyenne. Hit the ball hard, but into the shifted infield his last time up. Facing the lefty Scholes as that one skips in there.
And that's just one of those pitches that freezes you as a batter.
And you wonder if we see Scholes come back out for the 9th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff single by Yost. Got to second on a pitch in the dirt. 1-0 to Cheyenne. That one skips in there, smothered by Harrison. It was thought about in advance, but retreats to second. Hale on the top of the order, wait on deck for the Gatemen. At the moment, it's Shane who's 0 for 2. Hitters count here. Takes. And now it's 2-1. Definitely a new look Gatemen lineup tonight with guys like Kale, Apple, Parker, Chavez, and Costin all getting looks for Wareham. 2-1, a big hack and a miss. It's 2-2. In terms of some names getting the night off, Chris Ramirez, Chris McHugh, Braden Randall, and Drew Rogers, 4 kind of Gatemen regular starters lately, all getting the night off.
3 of the best players, probably 3 of the 5.
Costin has been the only changed position player-wise for Wareham. And Scholes will step off. Shane came in at 160 in a big spot. 2 away, runner on at second. Rolls that one to the right side. Diving attempt, and it is smothered by Osterhaus. Gets up, he's throwing home. Yost speeding around third. Comes in to score safely. Osterhaus prevented it from getting to the outfield. Couldn't get the throw off to first. Yost recognizing it and comes home to score the Gatemen's second run.
Impeccable base running from Hayden Yost. Osterhaus gobbled it up but slipped on his way up. As soon as Yost saw that, he knew with 2 outs the Gatemen needed a run. That is the type of play that can build momentum and potentially spark a comeback. What a play from Hayden Yost. He just always seems to make the right play at the right time. And credit to Van Shane for putting that ball in play. Missed pretty badly on that fastball, blew it right by him. Adjusted, stayed in the at-bat, got what he wanted, and capitalized on it.
5-2 now. The 4th hit of the night for the Gatemen. Back to the top of the order, lefty on lefty. Kale singled in the 6th most recently. Scholes deals, a called strike on the outside corner.
And that's a type of hit for Cheyenne that can get you out of that slump. Not just the hit, but the RBI as well, feeling like you're producing and helping this team. He's got some speed too. See if he takes off at any point.
Roller back up the middle, nice snag by Lopez. A spin and a throw to first, it's offline. Hale reaches the base safely. Lopez, a valiant effort, couldn't get the job done, and that will bring up the tying run in the form of Colby Turner.
I mean, that was just a ground ball. Lopez, nice grab, and the throw just off the line of the bag. Cory, I think the only person that I would rather have up representing the tying run than Colby Turner is probably Caden McDonald, and you have him back-to-back against a lefty. This is Turner's chance to turn this game upside down.
Gets the lefty on righty matchup. Turner, 4 homers, 19 RBIs, a line out to left most recently. Hit the ball hard, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. First and second for him, big swing and a miss. He was trying to tie it right there. Cheyenne, an infield base hit, drove in a run. And then another infield single. 2 nice plays by the middle of the infield for Falmouth, but can't get those outs. First and second, 2 away. Scholes against Turner. The pitch from the lefty, way high. And it's 2-1. Colby showcased some power throughout the summer. Most notably in that 16-9 win a couple weeks ago against Gatuit. Launched 2 homers to left. The 2-1 to him. Breaking ball, a big wave and a miss. This has been the best opportunity for Wareham to score runs. 3 hits in the inning, 5 as a whole, and the tying run is up at the plate for the first time tonight. 2-2 pitch to Turner. Jam shot, stays foul. Scholes will face back-to-back righties as Turner's going to get a new twig. Turner up at the plate now. If the inning continues, it's McDonald on deck. New bat for Turner. Shane on at second, Kale on at first as Turner applies the pine tar. Falmouth struck first after a scoreless 3 innings, 3 in the 4th. Wareham got one back in the bottom of the 5th before the Commodores plated 2 more in the 6th. To increase the breathing room. But here the pressure is ratcheted up as Turner represents the tying run at the plate. Gatemen looking to answer. Already run in here in the 8th. First and second. 2-2. 2 outs. Pitch to Turner. Fastball high. The runners get a head start. Full count on Colby Turner.
With Caden McDonald on deck. This is the 1-2 punch. This is the best chance that the Gatemen have had so far tonight. Give these fans something to be happy about on the regular season home finale.
The pitch to Turner. Big swing and a foul tip into the glove of Harrison. Scholes strikes out Turner. The Gatemen get the tying run to the plate, but can't cash in. They get 1 run back to bring the deficit back to 3, down to their final 3 outs. Time for the 9th. That's coming up next on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Shameless Plug Electric, hitting home runs on every job. Wareham's top choice for electrical work. Call Shameless Plug Electric. This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Koshi on the mound. as we take a look around the rest of the league with Koshi getting set for the bottom of the ninth. The two scores that really mean a lot for the Gatemen. One's gone final, Bourne topping Katuitt. If this game goes final 3 outs recorded, Bourne will take the West Division title, and it's a tight one between Hyannis and Orleans. A Hyannis win could certainly make things interesting tomorrow as those two teams play at McKeon Park.
Can we talk about the line score in that Hyannis game for a second? Harbor Hawks up 4-3 with 5 errors.
How often do you see that?
Probably never.
No, I think if you're the Gatemen, you're hoping those defensive lapses carry over to tomorrow's game, the regular season finale. It's quickly 0-2. Koshi pitching to Osterhaus and a big swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and a good start to the ninth for Koshi. And the Gatemen had a prime chance in the bottom of the 8th. First and second, 2 away. Nice pitch by Koshi. Holby Turner at the plate, lefty on righty. And even if he didn't tie the game with 1 swing, either way, you're not sure if Wareham gets a chance like that again the rest of this game.
You have to hope so, and you have to have optimism with 3, 4, 5 coming up in the lineup for the ninth, especially with Foster Apple, who would, if McDonald and Cruson both reach base, would represent the tying run. He already has a home run tonight, but obviously a long way to go. Koshi still has to get these last 2 outs, keep it to just a 3-run deficit, and then the offense has to produce to get the Gatemen back in this game.
Lopez ahead in the count, 1-0. Make it 1-1 with a big swing and a miss. Lopez has had a nice night, 1 for 2. A double in the 5th and a pair of walks, also stolen a bag. The Commodore shortstop came in under 200. Koshi's been really sharp on the mound since he entered. It's really been an evaluation period, and it really seems like the most interesting question for the Gatemen heading into the playoffs is going to be the construction of their starting rotation and the bullpen and how they use all their arms. Because you have a lot of options at your disposal. 2-1 pitch, hack and a miss, 2-2. But it's a question of where and when you want to use them. Do you want to use TJ Schlager as a starter? Would you rather have him out of the bullpen? And that's the question for some other arms as well. Lopez waits, 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Blows that one by the Commodore shortstop. 2 strikeouts start the ninth.
Andrew Koshi has been really impressive, Cory. These last 2 innings, got a trio of strikeouts. He's been great. He's got 5 so far tonight in just 2 1/3 innings.
In terms of guys who the Gatemen are just getting acclimated to, it seems like he's made a really strong first impression. Gavin Greger takes outside 1-0, and that's the thing, the Gatemen trying to fill in some of those gaps to really make the most informed decisions possible in terms of how they want to handle their pitching staff. Using some new arms in a really tight spot yesterday. It obviously didn't work out, so maybe that's in the back of your mind if you're Ryan Smythe and Eric Luxus moving forward in the playoffs.
Well, if this is an arm that can pitch in the playoffs, don't think anybody's going to complain about that. Wheeling and dealing.
He's fallen behind Greger here. Koshi's delivery. That one just missed nabbing the outside corner. It's 3-0 in the Commodore center fielder. Because it does feel like the lineup, while it has gone cold, unfortunately for Wareham lately, you kind of know who you're going to have for the most part in a starting spot and what the construction of it might look like as Koshi finds the zone.
Likely Josh Butler, Caden McDonald, and then game 3, kind of that question mark.
Yeah, that's the big question.
To start, at least, you have kind of the same pitchers out of the bullpen that you can use at your disposal at that point.
Koshi loses Greger on 5 pitches. Top of the ninth stays alive with the 1-out, 2-out base runner, that is. And Butler and McDonald, games 1 and 2, that has a pretty good sound to it, the way they've pitched this summer. It's obviously a question of you have to execute, but The offense is going to have to back those pitchers up to some degree. Costin talking things over with Koshi.
And you hope that Butler, his ERA on the season, just a hair over 1. McDonald's right around that 3.5, 3.6. He's been great.
Can Koshi get the final out of the top of the 9th? Give his guys a chance in the bottom half of the inning. Facing Morales after the mound visit. And fires that pitch in low. Morales has reached base safely 3 times tonight. Commodores have 8 hits, and they've taken advantage of some Gatemen walks, notably by Shea Went, and that's kind of where the damage started to come from Falmouth in the 4th. I think the good news for the Gatemen on both the pitching and offensive sides is that some of these new guys give you more options after a lot of departures on both sides. It's 2-1 now.
Yeah, obviously you can't delete innings, although that would be so nice. But that 4th inning, walk, 2 RBI single. There's 2 runs right there. Then the sacrifice fly from the walk. Went gave up the 3 runs, all of them earned. Just a little bit more control from him, and it's a different game. But again, unfortunately, that's just not the reality of the situation.
And Falmouth has never really looked back. They needed to win. Their backs up against the wall, and they took advantage of some Gatemen miscues, especially on the pitching side. But you credit the Commodores in one sense because they got blown out last night, not playing great baseball, and they come here to Spillane Field against a team they've already dropped the season series to, and they're up by 3 in the 9th. 2-2. They'll do it again as Morales stays alive.
It's amazing what fighting for your playoff life can do for a Falmouth team. Trying to hang on, give themselves a chance to make the postseason.
And we saw what it did for Katuitt last night, perhaps, coming back down by 2. Extra sense of motivation. Runner on at first, another 2-2 pitch with 2 away. Koshi can't catch that outside corner. Grego will be running with the 3-2 offering. Koshi risking working back-to-back walks with 2 away in the 9th as Ty Stark loosens in the Gatemen bullpen. Here comes the 3-2. Slides inside, ball 4, back-to-back walks, and it's first and second with 2 away.
You just need that last out. Don't want to make this a habit. Back-to-back walks after back-to-back strikeouts here in the 9th. You got Newstrom up, bottom of the lineup. You don't want to turn things back over to Micah New, that's for sure.
Ryan Smythe makes his way out to the mound. Koshi's been really sharp in his Gateman debut. 2 1/3 innings. Couple walks, a hit. 5 strikeouts. No runs allowed, but his night is done. The Gatemen need just 1 more out in the 9th before they head back to the plate. And it'll be in Ty Stark's hands. The lefty enters as we head to a break on Cape League TV.
Finding a good personal injury attorney is very difficult. If you or a family member has been involved in an accident, hurt at work, suffered a slip and fall, or have been injured due to negligence of someone else, contact the lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. They are experienced trial attorneys who practice in all of the courts in the Commonwealth. The firm has been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for outstanding legal representation. Contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham. Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP also has offices in New Bedford and Falmouth. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website, www.rkm-law.com.
After 2 strikeouts to begin the 9th, back-to-back walks issued by Koshi. The Gatemen not taking any chances, trying to keep the deficit where it is at 3, and so they turn to a reliable arm in Ty Stark, who's pitched to a 2.70 ERA in 11 games this summer.
Yeah, and hoping that Stark can just kind of grab that final out, make things pretty easy. You don't want this lead to get extended any further than what it is for the Commodores. 2 on, 2 outs. Good news is you have the 9-hitter up in Chris Newstrom. The bad news is that if he reaches, Micah New comes up and turns the lineup back over to the top. So crucial for Stark here to get this out and move into the home half of the 9th with the Gatemen still trailing by 3.
Yeah, one Commodores hitter is yet to reach base tonight, and it is Chris Newstrom, who came in at 130. In terms of average, 3 strikeouts also from Newstrom at the bottom of the order. So he faces Newstrom, bottom of the order. Stark needs just 1 out. The Gatemen did not turn to the lefty in a tight spot last night, but asking him to just get 1 out and pray your offense can come alive in the bottom half of the inning. Lefty on righty. First and second, 2 away. Stark out of Louisville comes home and fires in a strike. As Josh mentioned earlier, the Gatemen have McDonald, Cruson, Apple, 3, 4, 5. In the home half of the 9th, trailing by 3. Stark's 0-1. Once again, right there, it's 0-2. First and second, runners take off. 0-2 pitch, misses. The throw down to second is high and not in time. Gregor and Morales both advance 90 feet on stolen bases. They're in scoring position with the count now 1-2 on Newstrom. Both of these runners walked. Stark's 1-2 on the way. On the inside corner, called strike 3. Stark needed just 4 pitches, does his job. Sets down Newstrom, and the Gatemen head to the plate, down by 3 runs, down to their final 3 outs, trying to spark a comeback. Stay tuned to the finish on Cape League TV.
Law. Live, life, law. Covering all residential and commercial real estate matters. You live life to the fullest, and let us sync law. That's synklaw.com. Sync with an I, not a Y. Be selfish. We represent only you.
Sports Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen field. Go Gatemen.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Wareham down to its final 3 outs tonight. They risk dropping their 4th straight and would eliminate them from losing, or winning, that is, the West Division title, as Joe Sabbath out of Rhode Island takes over on the mound for the Commodores to get these final 3 outs.
Yeah, a loss for the Gatemen today would really hurt the chances to win that number 2 seed. If the Gatemen can come back here in the 9th, Wareham would officially host a first-round playoff series. Hyannis is holding on to that lead over Orleans as it currently stands. It's 6-3 but the Firebirds do have the bases loaded in the home half of the 7th, so a chance there. Obviously, that game not at an end yet. But overall, if the Gatemen lose tonight, Hyannis holds on and beats Orleans. That means that the winner of tomorrow's matchup between the Gatemen and the Harbor Hawks would win the 2 seed and home field and make things really interesting for the playoffs.
And that would be one heck of a matchup to end the regular season with seeding on the line. First things first, though, the Gatemen have to tackle Joe Sabbath. 11 games, 1 start, and 4 saves for the righty. He's been the option the guy Jared Saltalamaki has turned to late games and to save opportunity out of the bullpen. He faces McDonald to open his outing. The first baseman is 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts and now behind quickly 0-1. Four save opportunities for Sabbath this summer. He's converted all 4 of them. Trying to follow suit in his 5th opportunity here at Spillane Field. 0-1 to McDonald. A big hack and a miss behind on a fastball. It's 0-2. And it will be an interesting question if these scores hold here tonight. How do these teams approach that game? Do they care? How much do they care about whether they're the 2 seed, whether they're the 3 seed?
Orleans got a run in. Still bases loaded with just 1 out.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Skips to the backstop. McDonald takes a ball. The Gatemen had a prime opportunity to tie this game last inning. In the 8th, Colby Turner at the plate represented the tying run with 2 runners on, but Scholes, the huge strikeout on the mound to get out of the jam. Now the Gatemen down by 3, no one on to begin the 9th. A 1-2 from Sabbath. Big swing and a miss. McDonald down via the K for the 3rd time tonight, and there's 1 away in the last of the 9th.
Tough game for Caden McDonald. The guys that have really produced for Wareham, 2 of the biggest hits have come from the newer guys. Think about it, Foster Apple, the home run, Van Shane, the RBI single. There's been a little bit of traffic elsewhere, but not enough to really put together a sustained run throughout the game.
Here's Cruson, 0 for 3 tonight. Lefty on righty. Chase bounces that one foul. It's 0-1. The offensive struggles have persisted for the Gatemen here tonight since that 9-run explosion against Chatham just a couple nights ago. 3 runs against Bourne, 1 against Brewster, 2 last night against Katuitt, and 2 again tonight against Falmouth. Down to their final 2 outs. The pitch to Cruson doesn't come back over the plate. It's 1-1. A loss moves the Gatemen below 500 at 19-20.
Orleans has walked again. The bases were already loaded, and now from 6-3 to 6-5. Firebirds right back in it. That's a game that means a lot at this moment in time.
So if you're Wareham, you lose tonight, but Hyannis loses. Tomorrow's almost, in a way, kind of a nothing burger because you can't win the division, but at the same time, Hyannis and Katuitt can't leapfrog you for the 2 seed.
If Hyannis loses and the Gatemen lose, a Hyannis loss locks Wareham into the 2 seed.
2-1. Cruson fouls it straight back, 2-2.
So everybody's still pretty big Firebirds fans at this point in time. The only way Hyannis can take that 2 seed away, winning out, Gatemen lose out. Firebirds with the bases loaded, still just 1 away. Down by 1.
So I guess get your Firebirds hats on once this game potentially goes final.
That's only in the 7th, so I have a feeling that we'll be tuning into that one on Cape League TV as soon as this concludes.
Pitch from Sabbath to Cruson. Takes a breaking ball low and inside. Count goes full. Chase trying to get on base. Give the Gatemen a 1-out base runner. Foster Apple, who launched his first homer of the summer with the Gatemen, waits on deck. After the McDonald strikeout, Cruson has worked the count full. Sabbath on the mound, deals to the plate, and catches the outside corner. straight paint from the Commodores righty. 2 strikeouts open the bottom of the 9th. Wareham down to its final out. What a spot for this pitch right now. That breaking ball just caught enough of the plate. Crewson didn't agree with the call by Sam Finn, but he's retired nonetheless. Then Foster Apple now has played a handful of the games for the Gatemen. New ad out of the NECBL. He homered earlier. Right now, the Gatemen's last hope. Had a strong debut, a couple hits the other night. Appeared as a defensive replacement last night. One for 3 with that homer tonight. Sabbath going for the save. His 1-0 to Apples, a breaking ball at the knees. A game which saw 3 repeat pitchers the last time the Gatemen played the Commodores. Really shut down these Wareham bats. Now Sabbath facing Wareham. Dealing on the 1-1. Fires in a fastball that sinks below the zone. A win would move the Commodores to 16, 22, and 1. Still would be in the cellar of the West Division, but just a point behind Hyannis. And out away, 2-1. Sails outside, 3-1. So now that would mean Hyannis tomorrow is playing to stay alive as well, because if Falmouth were to win tomorrow, the Harbor Hawks lose. The Commodores and the Harbor Hawks flip-flop places. Hyannis is out. Falmouth is in.
That's only contingent on Orleans coming back and winning tonight.
3-1, catches the outside corner. Payoff pitch coming as Apple had tossed the bat, thought he'd work ball 4. Now Sam Finn, after some jeers from the Commodores after Apple had to come back to the plate, issues a warning on the Commodores dugout. Oh, they're excited. Win number 16 of the summer. Potentially upcoming next. Payoff pitch from Sabbath on the mound. No one on, 2 away. Apple at the plate. The righty kicks and deals. Swing and a foul ball. Apple just getting a piece of it.
Again, fighting for the playoff lives for Falmouth. Need a win. Need a Hyannis loss today. And they need the same thing tomorrow. But a team that's just a strike away from having a momentum-building win.
And what a 360. Get clobbered by Bourne 14-4 last night. You've lost the season series to the Gatemen. They'll do it again. The Commodores a strike away. Sabbath deals. Apple once again stays alive.
7th inning ends in Orleans. Back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded. So Hyannis still up 6-5 with 2 innings to play. A lot of time left. Hyannis has made 6 errors. As many errors as they do runs.
And Orleans, that win means something because Harwich would leapfrog them to first if the Firebirds
so
lose.
Much going on in these last 2 days.
3-2 from Sabbath. Misses the zone, low and inside. A pulse for the Gatemen. Apple wins the battle. And quite a contest that was against Sabbath on the mound. A 2-out walk brings up Hayden Yost.
Yeah, he was battling Sabbath on the mound. He was battling the entire Falmouth dugout. How great would it be if Yost can get on and then William Parker could do some damage?
Yost scored one of 2 Gatemen runs. Led off the 8th with the single, came in to score on Shane's RBI. Here he is with the Gatemen still down to their final out, but the runner on at first. Pitch from Sabbath locates a fastball at the knees for a called strike. Yost hoping to keep this game alive because the man on deck in Will Parker is what really matters with Wareham down by 3. 5-2 in the ninth. Pitch to Yost. Gets underneath of it, sends it out of play behind home plate. And once again, the Gatemen are down to their final strike. From 0-2 to 2-2. Gatemen not making it easy on Sabbath after he started the ninth with 2 strikeouts. One of the hotter Gatemen bats in Hayden Yost. Can he keep the game alive? The 2-2 pitch to him. Blooped into shallow left field. The shortstop Lopez says he's got it. Makes the catch for out number 3. Wareham falls to the last place Commodores 5-2. The 4th straight loss for Wareham. Obviously, all eyes now turn to Hyannis and Orleans, what could be a pivotal matchup tomorrow if the Harbor Hawks hang on. If they lose, the Gatemen are the number 2 seed. But regardless, Josh, it could be an interesting contest tomorrow if Hyannis wins, given the context. But the Gatemen, this is not, at the moment, how you want to be heading into the postseason, having lost 4 straight.
Not at all. Not at all. This is not the right direction that Wareham is trending in. 4 straight. You have to get back on the right foot. This is just not the momentum that you want to be playing with, right? Because a part of baseball especially, but all sports in general, is it's great to be the best team. It's also great to be the hottest team, and who can catch fire at the right time. If the postseason occurred during the middle of July and even second to last week in July, Gatemen are winning the postseason. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But now things have certainly gotten a little dicey, and it's going to come down to tomorrow pretty likely, unless Orleans can come back and take that game over Hyannis, to see if the Gatemen can hold a top 2 seed and host a first-round series.
If you're curious about what the situation might be for tomorrow, tune into Hyannis and Orleans on Cape League TV. That's a 6 o'clock matchup tomorrow at McKeon Park in Hyannis. And Josh, obviously the scenario could be a lot bigger or it could be a lot smaller if the Harbor Hawks lose. Regardless, the last regular season home game here at Spillane Field, the Gatemen will have a home game. How many depends on obviously their seed and how well they do. But just your closing thoughts here, our last regular season home game here in the John Wild press box at Spillane Field.
I've had so much fun, Cory, and I know you have too, but it has been such an honor and a blessing to be able to be here and meet so many wonderful people, players, coaches, interns, staff of the organization. I mean, it really is incredible, and we'll save all the wishy-washy stuff for when the season officially comes to an end, but overall, there's not enough words in the English language to explain what an amazing opportunity that this is for us to be here for this incredible summer.
That's for sure. Can't say it much better than that. Being rewarded with the President's Cup today, maybe a bright spot for the Gatemen here tonight, and certainly the thank you to the fans, all the interns, and especially our amazing broadcast team with Rayna, Maggelet, our sideline reporter, Chuck Luarasi, Abby Smith, our 2 producers. Can't forget about the camera crew, Marcus Lyons, Nate Crawley, Luna Yu. We want to thank them as well, and thank you for tuning in tonight. The Gatemen drop their home finale in the regular season, 5-2 to the Commodores. They wrap up the regular season tomorrow.